What's up? Hello. I wasn't doing my whoa thing. Uh, Hi, how's it going? We're live. How we doing? Okay, wait, let's see. Let's test. Does it work live? Oh. It doesn't transition on and off, but it looks better. It looks better. It might be too big of font now that I look at it. We'll have to see when we get to some actual comments. But I can maybe actually display some comments again. Hello, my name is Megaphone Man. My tech recently got messed up, so I'm trying to recreate it all. I need to write some guides for myself in the future. But hello, Mike 30. What's up? This is Critical Eyes. My name is Meg. I'm a longtime DM. I'm watching Critical Role to see what we can take away for our own home tables, analyze the good, the bad, the ugly, the beautiful, and, try to have some fun while we're doing it. And this is episode 107, the last half of it. I think they're going to fight in some deep, dark tunnels. We'll see if it's interesting. There's definitely...
All right, yeah.
Oh, whoops. There's definitely ways for it to be interesting. We will see if that happens. Because Matt seemed legitimately surprised by the whole water breathing trick. Maybe he was playing it up, but that's the sort of thing that would be really fun to basic combat around, is having these little pockets of water. But also I don't know that the breathing will matter that much because of how fast combat goes. So we'll see. I don't know. I'm not trying to think about it too hard. We'll see. I would love to be surprised, but I don't think it'll be that interesting. Elephants have knees. Only 2 of them. I guess we only have 2 knees. What are elbows? Elbows are basically knees. And elephants don't have elbows or knees. You got to pick one or the other. And I don't think you can swim without either. Elephants do have elbows. One of their limbs is non-jointed. They can't jump. And I know that. Wout van Aert has finally won Paris Roubaix. Roubaix? I'm so cultured. I know exactly what you're talking about. Every time you say it, I know it. I've been telling my homies about Wout van Aert. That's all we talk about. Anyways, how's the tech stuff behaving? Better and better every day. Wait. Whoa. Hell yeah. Better every day. And we make it safer for the next time. Where we'll retain more information in case it bricks again. But they cannot jump. That is because of the lack of knees or elbows. It's limited mobility and weight. If your knees are so limited that you can't jump, you might as well not have them. Why even have them at that point? It's like a whale. It's like a whale has the fucking little pelvis bone from back when it walked on land. It don't need that shit. So it just stopped using it. Or maybe it does use it. I'm not a zoologist by literally any stretch of anyone's imagination. Let's see. Where were we in the episode? Let me pull up the notes app. Oh my god. I was very happy with how the notes went last time. I made some changes. We'll see if the changes are good changes. But yeah. I made a few changes, but we'll see. I guess since you don't have a belly button, since it serves no real purpose. I mean, look, if other animals were talking about me, yeah, I think it would be fair for them to be like, we have this belly button that does stuff. humans have a belly button, but it doesn't really do anything. So, like, they might as well not have it. Yeah, I'll stand by that. Hell yeah. If there was another animal that had a belly button that did shit, it'd be like a kangaroo. Are kangaroo sacks their belly buttons? They're kind of a big belly button if you really think about it. And if a kangaroo was looking at us and being like, well, yeah, I guess they technically have a pouch, but it doesn't do shit for them, I think that'd be fair. I think that'd be fair to be like, they basically don't have one. Anyways, not the best pronunciation, fuck. But that guy... Oh, okay. That's a little bit too small. But wait, I might be able to fix it in real time. All right, check this out. We're going to drop it. Let me know. Is that still readable? Because that's a pretty long message. I think I'm cool with that being the size. Yeah, that still seems readable. Okay. All right. Going back to neural starting. Nice. Okay. Someone else knows about Kyle XY. Me and Paige make Kyle XY jokes all the time. It's crazy. It's such a crazy show to have existed.
How can you not think about it when you're talking about not having a belly button?
Paige says, how can you not think about it when you're talking about not having a belly button? The thing is, I did think about it. Anyways, let's get into the show, because I have a hard out later. I gotta go tour an apartment. I'm maybe finally moving to an apartment that actually has consistent Wi-Fi, or not consistent Wi-Fi, but like better internet. I can leave this building behind. Anyways, let's do Critical Role. Critical Role. All right, cool. It's all working. Yeah, no, the notes taking app went well last time. I'm hoping, we'll see. I'm going to add some more things. I'm going to add some more features. But I think we might be done with third-party note-taking apps, man. This had like most of what I wanted. I just need it to not look so ugly. But that's on me. Okay, let's see, where are we going? 2/1949. 2/1949. Is that Bejeweled? What am I looking at? 2/1949. Let's see. Okay, the fuck was that? I don't know, Liam. But we're going to start watching the episode at 8 minutes. Partially because, it's a third of an episode, so I don't have that much to talk about at the beginning. And I'm not going to get distracted. I've never done that before. Let's play.
Where did it come from? I loved it so much. It was amazing.
All right. So,
back in.
as the rumbling continues to grow and swell,
The rumbling continues to grow.
No.
you all hold yourselves in place.
Mm-hmm.
You hear the crumbling and crashing of stone and rock as from the side of the hallway, right next to where Grog is standing, maybe about 1.5 feet in front of him, you watch some large pointed object just pierce through the wall, maybe about 9 feet tall or so, just go out, sending dust and rock spilling out. And there's a faint orange glow from what appears to be some smooth armored head to some large creature with a toothy mouth that opens up, and as it bites down, you see rows and rows of teeth that are glowing orange as bits of molten rock are.
Is it purple, Matt? Is it purple? Have we gotten to its coloring yet?
Spilling out the sides of the mouth.
It's like 2006 is the core.
Yeah. Sort of. I hope it's better than that.
It's 2006, don't quote me.
Yeah. You recognize the shape of the front, especially you, Percival, as you spent some time with a creature of a similar shape.
Is it a purple worm? It's like a purple worm?
No, because it has two big muscular trunk-like arms as it kind of out in front.
Oh no!
Bullet?
It's like an Ember Hulk?
But it has no eyes.
Oh.
It just has the solid armored front and what looks to be like heated edges where the plates meet. It seems to be some sort of elemental infused or variant of the bullet that you encountered before. And as it breaks through and stops, mere inches from Grog, turn that.
Look, I love an elementally infused enemy. That's fun. I like any. I think in general, DMs should take more excuses to visibly and like definitionally alter enemies. I don't always do it by any means. Like I ran a troglodyte encounter, like a pirate encounter that was very normal. But I love taking a stat block, and you can do something as small as just like swap a resistance or give it a resistance or an immunity, or giving it a resistance or immunity is obviously going to increase its CR, and so you might want to be careful about that. But swapping a resistance, so say it has resistance to, I don't know, fire, and you give it resistance to, you take that away and you give it resistance to cold, that, at least in terms of how the DMG recommends or lays out balancing and how to calculate CR, that shouldn't matter. One resistance is equivalent to another. Now, in practice, that's not necessarily the case. Some resistances are more valuable than others. But you can swap them without being too worried about messing with the balance too much. You can also change the damage type that some of their abilities do. Change it from bludgeoning to cold, or in this case, fire maybe. There's lots of ways to very minorly change an enemy and have it not change that much in terms of CR, but have it feel very different. And it is an added benefit that if you do this, your player that might know a lot of monsters, maybe they're normally the GM and you're doing like a one-shot or something, the player that knows all of the monsters will not be able to predict your variant. Maybe your variant has lower AC and higher HP or something like that. You can really mess with, I guess, the players that know a lot of the monsters already. And especially if you're trying to power up something smaller, you can be, especially towards the higher levels, you can be pretty fast and loose with it. CR's never amazing, but I think it really breaks down towards the higher CR side of things, when we get into like the CR 20s, 30s, whatever. Just because of how much the action economy like plays a role at that stage. Whereas with lower CRs, it's a little bit easier to balance, I think. All of that to say, if you're looking at a lower CR monster like a Boulette, I think it's like CR 7 to 10-ish, somewhere in there. I'm honestly not certain. But if you're looking at that sort of monster and you're just saying, I want to power this up to be a single adversary, that's pretty doable. Look at the advice on how to calculate CR that's listed in the DMG. But as long as you're like pretty close, it's probably going to be fine. And it allows you the opportunity to build in all of these cool environmental effects, because not only can variants mess with your players or provide some interest or change things up or, provide maybe a guide on how to upgrade something, but they also help reinforce the environment that they're in. This being an elementally infused boulette reinforces the elemental nature of where they are, right? It being a fire boulette is like, oh, right, we're in a volcano. And it's like, your players may not need that reminder, and it might, seem a little bit, I don't know, almost over the top the first time you do it, but those sorts of small reminders, I think, go towards building this larger feel and tone and tapestry, if you will. So all the individual pieces sort of meld together into this overall tone. I don't think that there is too much characterization you can do, or if there is, I think people are pretty solidly on the shooting underneath that side of things. I don't think that trying to do it more, you'll end up doing it too much. But all that is to say, and if you allow yourself to design for your players, you should also know what types your players do and what spells they have that interact with damage types. Very, very true. I think it is more than valid to design for your players, especially if you are taking maybe a baseline monster that you have designed towards your players, and then you make it a variant that fits within the environment, and you don't worry about your players when you're fitting it into the environment. I think that's going to help it feel natural and grounded while also being a specifically designed challenge for them. You can also kind of go the opposite direction where you can maybe just pick a monster that fits really, really well, but then you make the variant something that specifically challenges your players. I like to do it the opposite. I think that if you do it like that, where the variant specifically challenges them, it's more detectable on the player end. Like I think it's more likely that they'll notice it because they're looking at how is this different from a normal boulette. Oh, it happens to be different in the exact way that challenges our party. You know what I'm saying? So I normally look at the opposite side, and I'm being a little bit hyperbolic. You know, they might not notice it. They might not say anything or think anything. But I generally try to go with looking at a monster whose baseline challenges my players and is designed towards them. And then I'll work in the variant stuff to make them feel grounded within the environment, because that's the thing that people are going to notice. So if I want them to notice the thing that grounds them within the environment, right? But in general, you know, I don't even want to be that hesitant on like which to do first or whatever, because I just want more people to be tweaking their monsters, man. Just run them more unique and more different, you know? I wasn't suggesting to tweak it to be specifically harder or softer for your party. I more meant the DMG's all resistance are equal is more abstract than you personally need it to be. Accurate. No, I'm saying I think it's perfectly fine to tweak it to be specifically harder or softer, not for the entire party, but for certain aspects of the party. So, you know, for Vox Machina, placing a fight underwater explicitly inhibits Percival. Right, Percy is not effective underwater. He said so himself earlier in this episode. So just placing something in the water is going to challenge Percy in a way that it might not challenge the others. And I think that when I'm looking to do something like that, when I'm looking to challenge a particular character, a particular player, I will look at the baseline monster stuff and then make a variant that fits more within the environment. But also to your point, yeah, you're totally correct. All resistances are equal is not really true by and large, but it's even less true in the specifics, which is why CR is always going to be kind of a guess, right? Challenge rating is always going to be just get it within the ballpark because the specifics matter more than the generalities.
It's a sentient blip.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. Across the way,
Oh no.
you hear a low rumble again, and it goes.
Is it talking? I find it to be somewhat of a trap to do that. You can come to expect specific courses of action or interactions that your players might not go for. It could lead to unsatisfying outcomes. I think it depends on what you are designing towards, right? So in the example that I gave of Percy, that is sort of a... how do I say it? That's an inescapable fact of how Percy is built. Percy is better above water, right? He's not good underwater. We could even say he's just not good where he can't use his guns, right? So if I'm looking at a way to challenge him specifically, I don't need to expect necessarily a certain course of action. I can just say, I could just say, it's going to be harder for him, just kind of inevitably. Now, if you get deeper into that, I think it can start to, I think it can start to maybe be a little bit of a trap. I think you have to keep it general. So thinking about like Vax'ildan, plays a rogue, and being able to sneak attack once every turn just naturally makes rogues better at single target damage, right? So that, combined with the fact that he's also multi-classed into Paladin and so can put Smite onto those single target attacks, means that Vax'ildan is going to shine in combats with fewer enemies that are bigger. Right, so if I wanted to challenge Vax, I could put a bunch of very small little Gribblies into the combat. So say instead of one Boulette, instead they're fighting, I don't know, 20 magma imps or something. Or what are they called? Magma Mephits. I don't know if that CR would work out, but just as an offhand example. It doesn't really matter what Liam decides to do in that situation. It just is the case of his build that he's better at single target. So it's a very general targeting. I'm not trying to like predict specific behaviors. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Paige made tea and brought me some. We're looking at like general realities of their class, and looking at just the general things that class maybe struggles with or is better with, because every class is better or worse at something. Something like or if your player has very high AC. So say like one of my players has like a 20 AC right now. And so picking a baseline stat block of a monster that focuses on saving throws is going to be more challenging to that player. Right. So I definitely sympathize with the idea of it being a noob trap. Or the idea of it being a trap in general. I just think you need to think about it at a very high general level. I'm very rarely trying to target a specific character and like their behaviors. I'm more trying to target like builds, mechanical things that I can not have to predict. Yeah. I especially don't think about it in terms of prepping the right spells. I think that is a valid way to go about it. If you want, I think a hyper lethal game, if you want, certain spells to be kind of requirements almost for defeating a combat, especially if you're in the type of table that's okay with redoing combats or retreating, I think that can work really well. I think that can work really well, honestly. But if you're in a party that, maybe doesn't like redoing combats or, combat difficulty isn't one of the major features of the campaign. I think that looking for really specific strategies, spell choice, feature use, I think that looking for those things and saying this combat is going to be difficult unless they do those things, that seems to be much more in the sort of trap area to me. Again, unless you're confident that your players are going to be down with a much more lethal or a much more difficult sort of combat scenario. Yeah. You never know what they'll do. I've tweaked this monster to be crazy to foil the Fire Wizard. I put 30 minutes into this prep alone. The Fire Wizard is out of spell slots or whatever. Yeah. I mean, it's not even like I'm looking at foiling them. I'm more just looking at like very general ways to challenge them, and that helps like guide my build. So yeah, it's as simple as, you know, this high AC fighter is going to struggle against things that don't make attack rolls, right? Or they're going to take a lot more damage from things that don't use attack rolls. Super, super general. If I wanted to challenge the wizard, I would just I would pick a adversary that is very fast, maybe has a feature equivalent to the mobile feat. I'm sure that there are monsters that have that. I think Flyby is that. So I'd maybe make it something where, you know, things can just very easily get to them. And that's it. You know, I don't try to go too deep on it. I'm looking at it that's very hot. I'm looking at it very, very generally. Yeah. I can see the point in doing it. It can be so rewarding, but I tend to be general, like you say. But then I tend to be general, like you say, and focus more on what is expected of the world to be like. That's fair. I think that's totally fair. And, you know, to wrap it back to what this kind of started as, of just like creating the variants, I do focus my variants or like the way that I change things on what would the world be like. And less so on designing towards specific things. Yeah. A D&D group that retreats. How do you come up with these Becco jokes? It's a good question, Ross. I was just about to press the button to play, and I don't have the button that plays YouTube yet on here. We'll get there.
Stomps the ground, and you watch from one of the other walls, jutting from what looks to be a smaller version. In a second, emerges two children. You both emerge going, as you're all just standing there, holding perfectly still.
They can't see us, we'll just stand still, it'll be really fine, right?
Jurassic Park rules.
Oh yeah, that.
Okay, so Matt narrated that they're standing perfectly still. He's not sending them into initiative instantly. Is this just narration to build up, or is this an actual thing that they can get out of non-violently? That'd be cool. It's just not typical of Matt.
They attack me. They can smell me. Can you do it?
One of them turns around and starts walking slowly towards the direction that Grog is. The large mother and turns Grog, and you kind of have to lean back as the nose sweeps past and is facing right in your direction. You can see these large holes in the front of its armored snout go. The mouth slightly cracks open and curls back into this. You can almost imagine it to be a grin.
Can I quietly go into a rage?
You're not my parents.
Well, as none of you have done anything at this point in time, I need you all to roll initiative.
Oh, shit.
That's what it was.
There.
Bitch. I heard you saying it too.
You should have done it. You should have just done it. What? Do what? Something?
Don't worry about it. For fuck's sake.
It's tough to know, man. This is one where I'm not quite sure what could be done differently or better, but I do feel like there is something. Like, giving them that time before the combat to potentially do anything. He already gave them a lot of, danger foreshadowing with the rumbling beforehand. And I agree with you, negative view, since none of you have done anything at this point. I do think it implies there was another path. Although that's also the sort of thing, like, I think Matt is really good at saying the thing that implies the world to be bigger. I think he's really, really good at finding those, like, lines and those words that you should say to imply that the world is bigger. So, like, the phrase, since none of you have done anything at this point, I do think really implies there was another route through, but there also might not have been. That might have just been a thing that Matt is saying to imply that, and again, to make the world seem a little bit bigger, which I don't think would be bad. But I'm trying to think of, like, if there was another route through, what would it have been, and how could it have been satisfying, and how could Matt have portrayed that? And I kind of struggle with, like, random wild animals. It's like maybe you could work something into, like, an animal handling check and, like, a little miniature thing there. But I don't think that is super satisfying unless you are, like, I don't know, tracking these animals. Like, I think about Vex's hunt for the gray render. It's like, with that, I think there's a very real possibility within that encounter and that sort of scene and that whole sequence where Vex might have needed to learn about the gray render, learn about its habitat or its, feeding preferences or its mating or whatever. Its child rearing tendencies, and you could have then used that knowledge towards a non-violent route through the encounter. Like, that's the sort of sequence that I think could support that. But with this, we know so little about the boulette, and especially the fire boulette, that it's hard to imagine what sort of thing could be done that isn't just an animal handling check. And so I don't blame the players, and especially when Matt, goes into the scene narrating, you all are standing perfectly still, right? It feels like maybe that's what they're supposed to do, is just stand perfectly still, and then maybe there will be a stealth check or something. Although they already made a stealth check, so that could have all just been, narrative build-up based on the results of their stealth check before the break. I don't know. It feels, like I said, I can't really pin down what was sort of awkward about that to me. But it feels like there's maybe something a little bit more that could have been done there, especially from the wild animal perspective. Heroes of the Realm, as long as it doesn't involve children, elderly, or animals. Yeah. I don't know. I think it was well handled in general. I just feel like there's maybe something more there. I don't know.
Nala!
God damn it.
No.
No.
Time every time
Whoa!
I do it. Look at that.
Hello,
Yes.
map.
Yes.
Hello, map. Oh shit! You know what I can't do in this is I can't insert images. That is a necessity if I'm ever going to use it to, like, break down maps. 1 second, I gotta write this down. Add image insertion to notes app. Cool. Heroes of the Realm. Okay, let's see this map.
So Grog, who stopped here, was the last to leap. Keelan made all the way over here.
So they're still in the area where they were having to leap. Oh, yeah, right there. Okay.
Over here, we'll
Trinkets in the necklace.
the necklace.
We were on the broom.
Oh, I wish I could see it better. Give me a nice
Over here.
top down or something.
We'd still be able to.
Come on, I've earned it.
Were you-
Please.
I was near the lead, so
That's to be on
Take
over here,
it.
stuff behind this rock.
what a great board.
This is
I mean, I'm gonna screenshot it now just in case I don't get a better image, but I'm gonna hope for a better one.
Really cool. Oh God, it's huge. Graga. Little baby.
Big boy. Big boy.
Oh, I think it's huge.
No.
No, I didn't call it. It's too late.
Do we remember what its weaknesses were?
I know it takes half damage. It's got half damage, I think, to non-magical physical attacks.
It's not a better view. It's not a better view.
He's got heavily armored skin. Other than that, I don't know.
Ooh. Did a new light just pop on?
There.
And another light?
A little bit of variation
For
there.
a red lava effect in my eyes?
Into your eyes, Sam. That's why I do this. All right, so initiative order, 25 to 20.
Oh, 20.
20 to 15.
17.
19.
18. Ooh.
Does it realize that anybody but Grog is there?
You don't know.
Man, unfortunately, I think the first one might have been their view. And this seems like one of the most interesting maps in a while, dude. No! This one seems really interesting from what I can see. I'd actually love to break this one down. Oh, shit. Okay, come
We
on.
could have potentially.
I bet you
So
can.
hopefully
All right,
it's after
and
initiative.
You were 17, you said?
17.
Hopefully.
All right.
Here we go. This is gonna be fun.
Here
All
we
right,
go.
15 to 10.
13.
12. My lowest possible initiative.
Oh.
Roll a 1.
I rolled a 1.
Alrighty, so top of the round, as all of them seem to shift in the direction of Grog, who is now quietly raging. Vex, you're up first. What do you want to do?
I'm gonna.
Okay, these are the two views we're gonna get. All right, let's try to see what we have here. So I think there's a wall right there. I can't tell what that is. There's a little lava pool right here. Oh, and I really wish I understood more of what was going on over there. Shit. It's so close to being decipherable, but and there's like a little pocket over here. Shit, man. I'm like, do I even try to look at it, or do I hope for something better? Because there's definitely a lot of areas, and this seems to be like behind a wall. And then there's the area that they're in over here, and then there's a little spike right there. I don't know if that's like difficult terrain or what that does, but then I think there's a little room back here, another little room over here maybe, and then the area where Grog is, obviously, and then the area over here. And these all have very, hazardous connections with the lava. And then even that has a hazardous connection right there. And then theoretically, these do as well. And then these have normal connection, normal. I'm going to count that as the entire side over here. I think that makes sense. That's normal. I mean, this is a way cooler and more complex thing than we have seen, I think, in recent CR memory. Like, I won't be able to, I can't draw out colors on this yet. That's another thing I should add. Shit, I didn't even think about that. Let me also write that down. We haven't gotten fully out of this being sort of a tech test stream yet. Add colors. Where? Oh, and I have no idea. Oh, there it is. I couldn't find the stylus. So just the shape even of this combat is way more interesting than typical. What? Oh my god, the draw. This is another reason I don't draw as much anymore. I need to figure out a way to make this consistent. The tablet that I have for drawing continually likes to remap where it is and also get confused about what orientation its working area is in. So I have to rotate it 90 degrees. There we go. Okay. So even just the shape of the map, totally separately from the path types, is really cool. And here I was before it started saying that I wasn't sure. I need to be able to drag these around. Shit. That's one more thing I need to write down. But we've got this little diamond shape on the left, which I like. We've got this far area that I really like, and I'll say why in a second. And it sort of has to do with the path colors, unfortunately. And then we have this little side area over here that I also really like. So there are two separate kind of areas that they can go off in and have like smaller sub-combats. There's this over here, and there's this over here. I don't have any way to just undo. I was just gonna undo that, but I don't have. Okay, I'm gonna add one more thing. Okay. But I really like it, and the most like challenging node to get to is one of these three, right? All of these three are separated by these two difficult paths, a la the lava. And the lava is already something that Matt has had them jump over, so he's, clearly like thinking about it and wanting to work it in and telling them that it is jumpable. Like, he reminded them of the fact that they can use jumping rules right before the combat started. So ideally, this will actually get utilized as such. That'd be really cool. But kind of going around it is super possible. So if you wanted to get from, say, I don't know, here to there, you could take the difficult path, or you could take the actually pretty safe path. It seems like there's a little room right here where you could potentially hide from ranged. Then then you make kind of a dash across this back area, and you're back into another covered area that no other areas have access to. So if you're wanting to, say, maybe sneak up something behind something that's here, there's a pretty clear way to go about doing that in a safe way. Or you could take the risk and just jump across. You could also really separate yourself all the way over here, right? This is a very isolated position, and I can't tell what the fuck this is, but it does seem like there's maybe some cover to be had, like right here. Like, it seems like this is maybe a valid sort of setup right here, although it's a little hard to tell from this. And there might even be like two things over here. Again, kind of hard to tell. But I really like the amount of different areas for them to be in. The only concern that I have is this sort of map combined with 3 boulettes. Unless they have some sort of ranged option that the standard boulette doesn't have. Because I don't think the standard boulette has a ranged option. Now that I say it, I mean, maybe it does. How do I spell boulette? Bullet. Bull. Oh, there we go. Boulette. There it is. Okay. Do they have a ranged option? No. They have Deadly Leap, which is great. Deadly Leap's awesome on this. I didn't even think about that. Fantastic. They also have a burrowing speed, which is going to really help, obviously. They're normally only CR5. So this is, I mean, even if the pups are CR5, that would leave, you know, CR10-ish for the parent to be. Lots of ways you could upgrade it. I'd really like to see some sort of ranged option to give something like this piece of cover some actual meaning. Same thing with over here. Like, these two places are both really nice for, and this entire arena is really interesting for protecting from range. Now there is the aspect of, okay, the monsters can protect from range, and maybe that's where Matt will go with it. Maybe the bullets will use the cover to their advantage. You know, maybe they'll try to drag someone into here, or they'll just position themselves in here. That would also be a really, I think, good option for the GM on this sort of map. Although it gets a little sticky, because if you design a map with cover, but you only rely on the players to use the cover, you have to be careful about what sort of allies you allow, or what sort of abilities you give the monsters. Because if the monsters can just subvert the cover, like a Boulette can with its Deadly Leap, or with its dragging potential, with its Deadly Leap or with its burrowing, you have to be careful about their targeting priority. Because if they just go for the ranged combatants and they just try to get them into melee, that's probably like a really good strategy, but then you're losing the interest of your map, right? Your map is potentially interesting because they can hide from range, but if they have the ability to eliminate range as a concern, then suddenly your map isn't doing much, and you're probably just, you know, fighting in the biggest area, right? If fighting ultimately collapses down to just this area, that'd be bad. And I think that's a distinct possibility with something like the Boulettes if they don't also have range. Now, if the Boulette also has ranged, like a ranged option, especially the pups, I think that could be really, really interesting. Because then, even if your players have the ability to subvert that, even if your players have the ability to eliminate range as a concern and eliminate cover as a concern, at least they have to do that now, right? They have to take that active role. They have to use those specific features or spells, right? That is, they have to do things and strategize about how to eliminate those kind of advantages, which is much more interesting when your players do it than when your monsters do it. But let's see what people are saying. It never fails to amaze me how long it took CR to competently show their maps. Yup. Just take a few shots of it before the stream starts. It won't have the position of the minis, but still, then put the pre-made shots while the cast is reacting. Yeah, put the pre-made shots while the cast is reacting, or even while they're doing something like rolling initiative. Yeah, completely. Yeah. But anyways. But all in all, very cool map. Very cool map. I'm very into it. I'd be slightly maybe looking for like a good, you know, more variation amongst the actual nodes themselves. So looking at, you know, what is a bad but possible place to stand? Like, what is a disadvantageous place to stand? What is an advantageous place to stand? Right now we kind of have that naturally with some covers. So like, I'd say that this, I just erased, not Drew. I'd say like this area back here, this area down here, right? Like these are in effect advantageous places to stand if cover matters. There's not a discrete place that is just good to stand regardless of what the enemies can actually do, right? But beggars can't be choosers. This is a really complex map shape. This map is very complex. There's a lot going on, especially with challenging paths. So maybe I'll kind of draw them darker to represent the challenging paths. Right? So we have these 3 here, and then we also have this third one right there, and this one right here. And this is like the sort of weird asymmetry that I love to see. That is hopefully going to encourage some natural kind of dispersion amongst along the battlefield. We'll see if that actually ends up happening. I think maybe Boulette isn't the exact choice I would have made for a map like this, but we don't know how Matt has changed it. So let's see.
With a lightning arrow.
Which one?
What do you mean?
What animal?
Which 3
There's a mama and 2 bubas.
I'm gonna try to hit the one that's breathing on Grog.
Alrighty, so go make your attack.
Yeah, provoke the thing with its teeth closest to him. Just fuck with it.
But it knows you're there.
Does it?
Maybe it doesn't know I'm there. Plus, I get a sneak attack on it because you're right next to it.
It's true.
And I'm a hunter's mark. I say.
She says to you,
25.
25 hits.
Lovely. Okay, so if that was a 3rd level lightning arrow, then that means I get 3d8 lightning damage in addition to my regular damage, or is it just 3d8 lightning damage? Wait. Roll the attack as normal. The target takes 4d8 lightning damage on a hit. And every creature within 10 feet makes make a dexterity saving throw.
Yep.
Okay. If I cast it at a 4th level, so no, so it's just 3rd level.
Just 3rd level, yeah. So it's 48 lightning damage.
Okay.
So maybe attack roll, it hits. So it takes that.
Wow, really? 8, 9, plus
Grog, make a dexterity saving throw, please.
Thank you. I have advantage on those, but I won't need it because that was 19.
15. So that, it doesn't actually do my regular arrow attack damage. It's just, wow, my spells are useless compared to my regular attacks.
21.
15 damage.
Alright, so 15 damage, and then 2d8 to Grog. Roll 2d8, and you take half that because you made your save.
19. It's right on the paper. -2. Sorry.
Oh, 19, yeah.
You still made your save.
Yeah, so what's the damage?
5.
5 damage to you, Grog?
Thank you.
5 total, or that's half?
That's 5 total.
Alright, so you take 2 points of lightning damage. Not too bad.
So I'm gonna try to hit it again then with...
Lightning arrow, yeah. Well, no. You, interesting point of order. You did lightning arrow as a bonus action.
Oh, no, I did
You did Hunter's Mark. So,
Okay.
no Hunter's Mark.
Oh, so I did Hunter's Mark. No.
Action, action,
Oh.
action.
I just am never gonna do spell attacks ever again. They're worthless for me.
So no Hunter's Mark, but you hit it with lightning arrow.
Okay.
Next round, you can worry about that.
Okay.
Alright, so that's your first attack. You have your second attack.
Okay, then I'm gonna attack it.
Go for it.
With a regular ass arrow that does more damage, probably. Natural 20, then a fucking lightning arrow.
Boosh.
You did not do your sneak attack damage last round. So if you wanted to do sneak attack damage on this, you can.
Okay, lovely.
Which means you also double the sneak attack damage.
Sweet. 5 that's 7, 14 plus 8 is 22, 24 plus lightning damage. 24 plus 5 is 29 damage with a regular arrow.
And that's with the additional sneak attack?
Yes. Oh, no, I get 2 sneak attacks. Plus another 4, so 30. 29 plus 4, 33.
33. 33 points of damage to it.
Do I take that too?
No, that's regular.
So as you release the lightning arrow, it slams into it, kind of like shoots the direction where it came from, and as it seems to open up its snout to smell, you fire a second arrow into its mouth, and it kind of starts writhing in place. As it does, it shakes, and you feel the ground kind of just quake in your presence, and a few rocks kind of from the ceiling, and the children kind of join the wail. And they all turn in your direction. Anything else on your turn?
Can I get on my broom?
Yeah, you get on your broom.
I get on my broom.
That's all you do. Alrighty, Grog, you're up.
Oh, I am, huh?
At the beginning of your turn, the heat emanating from this bullet that's right next to you is rather intense. You immediately suffer from just proximity to its searing body. 11 points of fire damage.
Whoa.
How much?
11 points.
points.
Just from knowing the guy.
That's not bad, yeah.
Are these monsters or beasts?
Guilty by
These are
association.
considered monstrosities.
What is the... how tall is the area that we're standing in?
The top of the cavern would be about maybe 10 feet.
Nice.
10, 12 feet.
With my 10, 12 feet. Yeah, I'm going to make both of my attacks at Mama Bear. Yeah, because I got to move. Either I move and it senses the non-stealthy me. Yeah, fuck it. I'm just going to take both of my Blood Axe attacks at it with... the first one, Great Weapon Master.
Go for it.
Yeah, not reckless. 20... 21.
21 hits.
Just barely. Okay. That's awesome. 26, 36 points of damage.
36 points of damage in the first hit. Not bad. The axe cracks into the side of its body, and you see the armor kind of crack a little bit where it hits. You pull the axe free, you can see the blood kind of pour out. As it spills and hits the ground, you can see the actual blood in their body is superheated as well.
Something that I'd be really interested to see here is hunting tactics. It's something that I've been trying to think about with my more bestial adversaries, is thinking about the fact that like monsters, but in general, beasts aren't just going to attack head on, you know, unwittingly, unceasingly just bash their head into a wall until they kill whatever they're going to kill. Some animals maybe are like that, but pretty few. Most of them have some manner of tactic. And that is something I'd be really interested in seeing here, especially from a variant boulette, right? Like, how does the environment that this thing has come up in, how has that shaped its hunting tactics? Obviously, that draws more attention back to the environment, which I always love, but I also think it could be a way to get around the whole, like, boulettes don't have a ranged option, is if we saw them use the environment to their advantage in some way. So let's say maybe they don't have a ranged option, but they have something like a charge, right? So maybe, you know, maybe it's an addition to their deadly leap, or maybe it's a brand new feature, or something, but something where they can drag or push or shove allies into the lava, right? That seems like a pretty natural hunting tactic for something that, you know, its blood is superheated. It seems to have all this armor. It is capable of surviving these extreme temperatures. It's almost certainly capable of surviving a little bit of lava. So it having something like a drag attack where it like bites on and then drags its prey into the lava to kill them makes a lot of sense to me from a hunting tactic perspective, and could do a lot of interesting things with this map. If the boulettes could maybe force the movement themselves in a way. It does the alligator thing and drag its prey into its habitat. Exactly, Bing Bong. Exactly. It does the alligator thing. Just something, you know, because I think either they need some sort of range, but range on a boulette doesn't quite make sense to me. Like, I'm trying to, you could give it like, you know, a spit fire attack or something where it like sips up some lava and goes bleh. Like, you could do that, but in an environment like this, that would seem kind of random to me. And that's why I said, I don't know about boulette for the choice here, but you could go the route of them just using the lava to do their killing for them, right? That could provide a lot of interest. That could provide some risk reward on how close they want to be to the lava. But then if they're not going too close, maybe the boulettes, you know, hide in the cover. They act more as ambush predators, right? Because I was saying at the end of this especially that I'm worried that the fighting will concentrate in a particular area, right? That all of the boulettes will just kind of be all together in a clump, and that everyone will just be hacking at each other, and it'll devolve into something White Room-esque. But I think if you gave the boulettes a little bit more strategy, a little bit more tactics, have them avoid that sort of scenario, like the sort of scenario where they're all just clumping up in a group, I think that could help bring the map back into being cool and useful. So we'll see. I'm hoping the boulettes have some interesting tactics. I can't recall seeing a lot of interesting tactics out of Matt's enemies, but, you know, we can hope. We can hope. The monster knows what they are doing. A great insight into how monsters are living creatures. I've heard of this. Yeah, it sounded like a really good book. Boulette sounds like a Frenchman trying to understand American culture. Oh, yeah.
That's a problem. Okay.
Bugging our body.
I like xenomorphs. I'll take the second strike as well. Great weapon master, not reckless.
Okay, not reckless.
That's shit. That's gonna miss, I think. Yeah, 20.
20 hits.
Oh, really? No.
We're learning things.
15, because I said great weapon master.
You did.
5.
That misses.
Yeah.
Somewhere between 15 and 20.
This is what you do swing, it hits, but the angle of the axe blade, it hits the edge of its head, like plated armor, and scrapes off the top of the shower, sparks off at the side, no damage.
Sorry.
Can I use my bonus action to rage or not?
You require, yeah, so you're beginning to quietly rage.
Fair enough. End of my turn.
Yeah.
You want to use move?
No, I'm right next to it.
Scanlan, you're up.
Get away from the llamas.
Lots of comments.
Boy, man, I don't know what these things can do. I will step forward a little bit.
Super tanky.
Super tanky.
Like 10 feet, 5 feet?
That's good enough for now.
Okay.
And I'll just keep going.
There's lava. Careful.
Thanks.
There.
Sure. I will inspire Grog by singing the customary birthday song of his people, which goes like this. Happy, 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 happy. They're very simple people. Happy, 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 happy. Ah.
You sang that better than mine before. Did I have a mom?
And then, as practice, I'm going to become my beautiful angel self and transform into a naked planetar.
Oh shit.
Oh, wow.
Go and play the top.
I assume I lose my poison. I lose everything, right? I lose my hero's feast. I lose my
Wait,
poison
how did you?
because I'm a different creature.
So, it's in your blood.
I don't think so.
Is this true polymorph?
Yes.
You get it back when you.
I have literally no idea how that works. Like, if you have water breathing on you and you true polymorph, I have zero idea if that. I'd have to read the text of true polymorph, but I would bet it would come down to just like a group player decision at the table of like, does that transfer over? Because it seems to me like either answer is reasonable. I like saying no it doesn't or yes it does. Those both seem like they have very plausible arguments on either side.
Generally, it says things. It'll say does shape change like you absorb your armor.
Do you happen to have a planetar figurine?
checking if I
Oh
have
my
a card.
god. Guys,
I better. I'm feeling really shitty about this.
Magic the Gathering Puzzle Quest. Did I mention that you can find out more at bit.ly/magic roll?
You did, actually.
Capital M, capital R on that, by the way, guys. Visit it right now. Friends of the show, they need your support.
That's right.
You know those first generation Black Lotus cards can go for like $30,000 depending on their condition.
And
Is it like the alpha style with the blackboard?
Yep. Band cards.
Matt is really looking for this thing. In the meantime, let me just tell you some other amazing Magic the
No, I
Gathering
think I
cards.
set it aside, forgot to
Time
bring the actual
Twister.
back. However,
Jace the Mind Sculptor.
I've actually performed the Jason Mind Sculptor. It takes 3 friends to really pull it off.
Naked Singularity.
Oh, the card.
Not a sexual position.
we'll say for the purposes
The prison guard is definitely a sexual
for the
position.
purposes of because it is the same size as a large creature, right?
It
We will
is.
use good old Doty as the current size.
Touch my miniature.
Yeah, you do.
Feels good.
Doty's working to be there because otherwise you'd be stepping in lava. So.
Okay, thanks.
But yeah, so that's it.
I think that's all I can do.
You can continue to move if you want.
Oh, that's interesting. As that guy, can I move more?
Well, you moved maybe
Most of my movement
15
is-
feet.
Okay.
Just more space. I'd say you probably have at his flying speed maybe a third of his fly speed left.
That's another 40 feet.
So there is that.
All right. Well, then you guys got this well in hand. I'm going to fly to the other guy. Is he going to get an attack on me?
This guy here?
Yeah, as I fly high.
If you fly to him and you're kind of gliding above right now.
No, I'm going to go to the furthest guy.
Over here? Okay.
Yeah.
So you're currently floating above the lava. It's not affecting you. As you fly by, because you're flying, no, I will say the mom bullet does not notice you pass. It's not going to attack of opportunity. Essentially. All right, that ends your turn.
Yes.
Vax.
Okay, click the boots. Hunter's mark on Mama. So all that's left? All that's left is dagger, dagger, dagger. So I'm going to do sharpshooter throws with the 3 daggers that are left.
Okay.
Okay, am I within 60 feet? I think I am.
You are, yes.
All right, so negative 5 on attacks. The first one is total shit. The second one is 17.
17 does not hit.
Does not hit. And the third one,
Ricochets off.
23 on the last.
That does hit, yeah.
Okay, so because Grog's right there, it is sneak attack. 1, so it is 9 plus, that is 10 plus this. 10, 13, 18, 24, 30, 33, 35, 36, 37. And because it was a sharpshooter attack, it's 47.
Oof, I got 3.
Nice. Great. So that one, actually, seeing the glow of the slight crack in the armor that Grog left, the dagger disappears inside the slight gap, and you see this of like super hot, thick, viscous blood spill out and hit the side of the rock and then cool and darken as it does across the side of the cavern wall.
And then for movement, watch this shit right here, folks.
5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40.
I'm hasted.
45, 50, 55.
There you go.
Wow, you
Did it my fucking self.
All right, then it's your turn.
Did it feel weird to have somebody else moving the people?
No, it felt awesome.
Did it?
Do the damn thing. All right. So that in case now brings us to.
Oh, and Hunter's mark.
Yes.
6.
Noise.
Ow.
All right. So infuriated, it's now starting to stop in the middle as it's hitting. So the lava starting to splash up around it. The babies. This one right here is only. I can only make a bite attack right now. I can't make a leap because you're too close to it. But as you rush towards it, it seems like sense your presence and the movement of the wings keeping you aloft, and the baby's going to lash out towards you. That is a 18.
Does not hit.
Does not hit. As it snaps out towards you, its saliva seeming almost like spray, like superheated liquid across. Does not attack you at all.
Well, that got you.
Dr. Manhattan. In
Yeah. The other baby is watching you go running past. It's going to go ahead and make a deadly leap. What is it? 15.
Oh shit!
Wait. Did I was thinking about, I was trying to picture where they were on the map, and I feel like, okay, it's saliva seeming to spray superheated liquid across, does not attack you at all as it snaps out at you. Okay. I thought it was just attacking, but then I heard sprays out all over you, and I was like, wait a second, did it make it a ranged attack? I don't think so. It didn't. Okay, cool.
Oh god, he's dead. That was the case after you guys have been dead a long time ago. All right, I need you to make a strength or dexterity saving throw. Your choice.
Dexterity.
All right.
Advantage because of the boots. So that is a 27.
27. Okay.
They can't. So. Oh my god, put one aerial camera. Or like you guys said, just take a fucking picture of it beforehand. Like, I get that mounting a camera right above it is probably not feasible, and they probably think that this angle is enough. I can't tell what the fuck is going on here at all, except for the fact that the boulette is right there. Is that a person? Is that another boulette? Is that, I don't know, is that a bow and arrow? Is that Vex over there? I can't tell. I don't know.
So you're not knocked prone,
good.
But you do take, let's see here, 19 points of damage.
Oh, no, easy. Attempt either.
That's
Bludgeoning and slashing.
That's just one attempt.
You are pushed 5 feet out of its space.
What was the total on that map?
There.
19.
I forgot about the fire damage.
Alrighty. That's the two babies' turn. Keyleth, you're up.
Okay, battlefield changed a little bit. So instead, can I do a chain lightning kakoof out of the staff and hit all 3 of those motherfuckers? Starting with the big mama, branching off to the 2 other dudes.
I could say you could do that, yeah.
Heavy bing bong. That's basically it. I mean, you totally could. You absolutely could. It just may be that they wouldn't want that. It's like, it's heavy, so it would take a big rig. It'd probably be kind of difficult to do. Like, it's all possible, but especially, I think they like tear down and set up the CR set every time still at this point. So they probably don't want to set up a big heavy camera pointing down like that, especially if they're not even going to use it every time. So I get it from that perspective. Once they move off on their own and they have like, you know, a standard set that they're not like setting up every time, they should absolutely do something like that. But I feel like that's a Geek and Sundry restriction, I suppose. Also, adding fire damage to the already strong bite attack is a choice. I mean, at this point, they are doubling the amount of combatants, right? Like, they, on their side, have double the amount of combatants that this side has. And, you know, the baseline monster for this is like a CR7 or something. Actually, I just had it pulled up. I think it's even lower. It's like a CR5. Yeah, it's like a CR5. So it's kind of like, you know, you gotta if you want to actually threaten Vox Machina at this level, you gotta make some strong shit even stronger. Without being able to see their explicit stat blocks, it's hard for me to tell if these are too strong or whatever.
Yeah, I do that.
Alrighty.
It's 10d8.
My phone has died, so I'm going old school.
And it's a dex.
Do you need this?
I think it's a dexterity saving throw, and it's 10d8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Does anyone want to lend me their d8? I can just roll this twice.
There.
You have 5 there? Okay.
Invisible round button on the side.
Oh, there I see it.
Well, Ashley Johnson, okay.
Alright. Totally bit, it's fine. Nope, and nope. No one makes a save. They're big hulking things.
Skadow!
Okay, I get to reroll ones because I'm a badass. Yes, I do. And this is a no. That's a 10. Ooh, that's good. Okay. 5, 4 and 4 is 8, so that brings us to 13. Another 4 and 4 is 8. I was right.
Yes. So you're 17 now.
17. Plus another 4 is 21.
Yeah.
Plus another 5 is 26. Plus another 4 is 30. Plus another 6 is 36. Plus another 16 total. So 36 plus 16 is 52.
52 points of damage.
Yeah, 52.
Another one.
Yeah, 52.
Oh, 52 plus another 7. So 59.
9 damage against all 3 of them. So as you stand in the middle and watch one of them leap past and like pounce onto your lover as he's pushed out of the way, and you see Grog now kind of face.
That attack would have bloodied a normal boulette. That would have done more than half the standard boulette's damage. Or HP, I should say.
Off with this giant gnashing mouth that is just spilling forth like super hot liquid, the lava going in the distance, you're having a flashback to the last time you dealt with lava. You concentrate for a second, release the blast.
Okay, I can actually see. Oh, that's a baby boulette. Okay. That's a baby boulette. That's Grog, not a bow. Fuck is that? Is that also a boulette? I think it is. So the other baby's like back there? Am I getting that correctly? And who is this? Oh, that's Doty. So that's Scanlan. Okay. So they're on either side of this sort of lava divide.
Energy as it arcs off, slamming into each of them. You see them shaking, quiver, their muscles tensing as they shriek in the middle of the cavern. Kind of stagger backward, hurt, but seemingly still holding on. All right, Percy, your turn.
I'm going to activate silence.
Alrighty.
So that's up. Charge diplomacy. I'm going to give it a little rev with my bonus action, and I'm going to. Oh wow! Can I actually reach? I can't quite reach, but I can close. I'm going to head in that. I'm going to head against that wall and start climbing up that wall. So
Right here?
yeah, like up there. Just put me up there. Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
Here's your D8.
Is all you do the turn?
That's my action, my bonus action, and my movement.
All right, that's your turn. All right, now it's Mama Bullet's turn.
Mama Bullet.
Mama Bullet turns towards Grog's been facing Grog this whole time, taking the dagger and watching you run past, seeing Ruby leap.
An arrow.
But you still right in front of it. Attack you. That is a natural 18. On a natural 18, this is important. So it's a total of 31 to hit.
Let me check.
Yeah, so that's 45 points of piercing damage, halved. We'll say 22, plus 13 points of fire damage. And you are swallowed. On an attack roll of an 18 to 20, it swallows the target. And literally, I rolled a natural 18.
What happens if you?
It's always me. It's always me.
Yeah.
I don't. I just. I don't know, man. I'm getting flashbacks to the Kraken. I also thought the Kraken arena wasn't bad. I don't think this will be as bad as that, but it's swallowing is like as an idea, right? It's essentially like a temporary banishment in a way. Or a more temporary banishment. But it's also, you still have like the distinct chance of taking more damage, and it's hard to get out. I mean, like I said, I'm having flashbacks to the Kraken. I wouldn't. I would go for something like a drag. You know, we've already talked about like, you know, a dragon, some sort of forced movement before I would go for something like a swallow. But if I were going to do a swallow, if that's what I wanted to do as Matt, which, you know, don't get me wrong, there are explicit benefits towards something like swallow over something like drag. Like removing a combatant from the combat does have a lot of interesting impact. In theory, you are removing a set of options from the battlefield. And for a normal party, that's massive. For Vox Machina, it's a little bit less of an impact since they have just so many options due to the amount of players that they have, or the amount of player characters. But even to them, you're removing those options from the table, but you're also like not really letting the player do much. So if I was going to do something like this, I might have it be like a 1-turn maximum or something like that, where like they get swallowed, but then they get thrown up the next turn. So it's basically like a little like temporary, it's just like a stun. I don't know, man. It's kind of shocking to me that Matt would see how the Kraken fight went. And I don't think that like this was the reason for the Kraken fight going the way it went. It's just, you know, one of the bricks in the wall. But like seeing how swallowing went in that Kraken fight, I can't imagine being like, yeah, that's the extra thing I need to give the Boulette. Maybe there'll be some manner of forced movement where like the Boulette swallows and then next turn it'll jump and then like throw him up. So it's like a way to isolate the character in a way that the other members of the party can't interfere with. You know, that there could be something interesting there if you tie it into forced movement somehow. But I don't know, man. It's a red flag. I'll say that. It hasn't actually, you know, it could go well, but like a swallow mechanic on a mat creature is a red flag to me. I feel like the mom could have done something else. I feel like Swallowed is a light stun banish with damage. Yeah, pretty much. Well, and it's also like an optional thing on one of its attacks, so it's not even something like it has to spend a legendary action or something. It's just a higher success mode of one of its main attacks. So it's not even something that the Boulette has to like choose to do. It's just like a random, essentially, upgrade. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like the worst thing you can do to a player is not allowing them to play. Yeah. Yeah. Like, I don't want to be too simplistic, right? Like, I want to acknowledge that there are interesting things that can be brought about by preventing one of the players from playing. But those, I just don't know that those seem worth it to me. If I'm being honest, like, and I want to like account for tables where that might be interesting and where like those things might outweigh the player not getting to play. But I don't think they're the average table, honestly. I don't think the average table is going to get that much benefit or that much interest from something like this. I feel like this is my own interpretation of what I think an average table is like. But I do think that other monster abilities are probably going to be more consistently interesting. Yeah, I don't know. Definitely got to keep those sorts of abilities under a lot of control. Max lengths and cooldowns are essential. I especially think of max length, but yeah, a cooldown as well. Yeah. The Kraken fight went like that because of player inebriation, not game rules, IMO. I totally disagree. I mean, you know, the players didn't play it perfectly by any stretch of the imagination, but I think that was a poorly designed fight. I gave my 2 cents on it at the time, but it was, I don't think the fight was well crafted. Now, might it have been better were they not inebriated? Maybe, but yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Apparently, man.
What happens if you Stone? Never mind. You know, I'm going to find out.
We've done this before.
We have done this before.
You are blinded and restrained currently.
Okay, blinded and restrained.
Alrighty.
Oh man.
What is restrained again? I always get restrained and paralyzed confused. Restrained. A creature's speed becomes 0. Attack rolls have advantage. Creatures' attack rolls have disadvantage. It has disadvantage on dex saving throws. If it's a dex saving throw to get out of this stomach, I'm gonna lose it, man.
It's not your fault. Goes right up into melee range with Keyleth, who blasted it with the chain lightning
I think
before.
grappled is just can't move. Restrained also has these other effects.
Top of the round now, Vex, you're up.
Okay, I'm gonna attack it with. I'm gonna Hunter's Mark it, and then I'm gonna attack it with an arrow.
Go for it.
Bramble Shout.
How did that go again?
Bramble Shout. 25. Oh, can I do Sharpshooter and do -5 to hit, +10 to attack?
Generally, you have to say that before you roll your attack.
Okay.
You can just add on, like, I rolled well. Can it also be?
Right.
So I'll say no, not for that first attack.
Okay, well then this one is Bramble Shot, and it's 25 to hit.
That does it.
Very fair.
That's 5 plus 8 is 13, 14, 15. 15 plus sneak attack and lightning damage, 15. 19, 23, 25. And then 48 piercing damage. God. 25, 30, 32. 32.
All right, 32 points.
And then he has to make a strength saving throw.
That is a 20.
Then he succeeds.
Okay, so as the arrow slams into the side, the brambles reach around, and you watch as these thorny vines wrap around the body suddenly begin to blacken and burst into flame. And actually, by the proximity, the brambles actually begin to burn to cinders and then break off the body as it storms forward.
I'm gonna attack him again.
Go.
This time I'm gonna try as a sharpshooter.
Do it.
Okay.
You're up next, Rob.
Natural 20.
Holy shit! All right, that'll hit.
Bramble shot.
You talking
Do I have to say that before too?
Yeah,
Fucker.
well, Bramble shot is to see if it hits or not.
Oh.
Whether or not, it does not lose if you miss. If you hit, you can say Bramble shot. So.
Oh, so yeah.
Yeah, I'm saying that the divine smite can be done.
Okay, cool. All right. That's it. Okay, I'm gonna roll on my dice and then double that, and then I'm gonna add my extra things. How about that?
Okay, do that. It's usually how you're supposed to do it.
All right, man. Okay, so 11, 14, 20, 23, 25, 50. That's easy. 58, 60.
60 points of damage with one shot and secondary saving throw.
Plus 10 because it was a sharpshooter.
Sure, 70 points of damage with a single arrow. You didn't actually take attack damage a second time.
I did not.
Good. All right, that is nasty. It actually rolled this natural 16 plus 6 for its strength saving throw, so it's not affected by the bramble. However, it is looking rough. The second arrow hits the side. You watch as it streaks. Pieces of the armor kind of fall off to the side. You can see the striations of its muscle, and where the muscle tissue is, it's dark, but at the seams, it's glowing orange.
I didn't add the 100 more
There you
damage.
go.
Well, only extra 2 damage. For that.
Okay, there you go. Extra damage. Right there.
Okay, 73 damage.
But now it's bleeding everywhere. Wherever it's walking and see it's thrashing about, it's just spilling off this heated liquid that's just pouring out of its wounds. Then your turn?
No, I'm gonna move
Where
because
you
on my
moving?
broom, so he doesn't know I'm there. I'm gonna fly to here.
Okay. Then it's your turn. Grog, you're up. First things first, at the start of your turn, because you are swallowed by the mom, you suffer 42 points of fire damage.
Oh God!
He's Grog.
Oh, it has to make Constitution saving throw to see if it spits him up first, actually, because you did more than 42 points of damage. Or 40 points of damage. That is a 22. Yeah, it's fine. Wait, no, it's 25 DC. No, it does not. So you do not take the damage, because she did not damage that crit hit arrow that vomits you up. You are prone, though.
Crit. Happy birthday!
There you
You're only in there for a moment.
Yeah. You would have burned it. Yeah, that would have been a good 42 points of damage.
So Grog just gets vomited up in front of me. What?
Yep. And he's like, there's steam and.
go. Fucking time. Hi.
You smell like shit.
Pile of burning placenta, right?
Grog.
I'd like to stand up.
All right.
You know, at least the end condition is, or at least a possible end condition is just it taking enough damage, basically doing like a concentration check. That's good. That's good. I'm yeah, for that sort of ability. The auto damage is something. I'd be really curious to see this thing stat block and like what estimated CR it is. Cuz it honestly, like, in terms of killing one of them, this thing seems capable. In terms of presenting like a threat to Vox as a whole, I think Matt's gotta start thinking about the action economy more. Like, I can't remember the last time we were in like anything approximating a horde combat, or like a combat with a ton of enemies. I'm trying to think of what it was. It was like Kevdak was like that. The fight in the Hells was no, actually I think that was single adversary. I'm trying to think of the last combat with like a Kevdak level of participants. And I really can't think of one. It's like the Pyra early on as well. But then it's like all of the other combats are like the Kraken or the Ankh Egg in the Minds of Many didn't even really act as a combat. They acted as a skill challenge. So we had Symphior there. We had, yeah, I can't remember a combat with more than 4 participants on the adversary side since like Kevdak or like the Pixies. But I don't even remember if the Pixies had more than 4. They might have had 4. And it's just unfortunate because with the way that Vox is, like the fact that there are so many of them just means that if Matt faces them up against something like this, where, you know, the adversary side has half the amount of participants as them, they're so able to burst down a single participant, but the adversaries are also naturally, to be balanced, they have to do quite a lot of damage, and they're going to be more able to burst down a singular member of Vox Machina, And it makes them feel very swingy to me. I think that's kind of my problem with this, is it's just very like, they went through one round of attacks, and the main adversary is already looking rough, assumingly bloodied. I don't know. But the attack damage is so high that they might be able to down someone like Grog. So I don't know. It makes me miss, or it makes me yearn for Daggerheart's system that auto balances sides a lot better than D&D. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure this was meant to be a huge challenge for VM. No, and I don't even think it is. I think you're right. It's more just that, like, it's either going to swing very quickly towards them, or if they, like, have a bad attack round and just, like, miss a bunch, then one of their people might die. That's, yeah, I don't know. Horde battles are kind of awful to run, though. Such a slog. Oh, I disagree. I love horde battles. I love a horde battle. I mean, I do, have specific things that I do to compensate for it. Like, I only use average damage. I don't roll for their things. I try to prep out like a flowchart for targeting ahead of time. But I also use the minionize rule quite a lot from 4th edition. One of my favorite D&D rules that's not from 5th natively. I really, really love minionize. But, yeah, man, I don't know. It's even just like adding in some legendary actions to the boulette instead of like this swallow, maybe give it something it can do off turn. So give it something that it can do at the top of initiative or something, like give it a lair action, man. Like, I don't know. It's just that with this few things, if the things can't fight back, if the things can only fight on their turns, the battle is, I think, just going to be swingy. And I don't think that's a great feel for me, at least to me personally. I tend towards adding lair actions. Lair actions is definitely a way to go towards it. And one note, it run up and hit you mobs that can be dispatched easily but are annoying. That's what I generally use minions for. Yeah. Like when I talk about like a horde, I'm typically like a horde combat. I'm typically not running like 20 of exactly the same monster. I'm almost always having like, if they're at this level, it's like maybe like a CR5, a CR, like 2 CR4s, a CR3, and then just as many minionized little Griblies as I can fit within the CR budget. Like that's what I mean by a horde combat. Yeah. Do you know / have an opinion on phase combat? A boss has multiple turns and each turn have different actions. I mean, I definitely think it's viable. I've never heard of that before, but I know plenty of looks at addressing the action economy in 5e have been looked at. I think it's like the biggest problem with 5th edition's combat is the way that the number of participants affects the challenge so drastically. I think it's a big issue with 5e's combat system. And I think that if you want to run less combatants, like if you just don't want to run more combatants, if you want to have it be a solo combatant or like 3 on the adversary side, I think you have to look at giving them things to do, not on their initiative count, whatever that is. If it's lair action, legendary action, this phase stuff, I think you just have to look at how can I kind of spread their power over multiple turns. But even so, even then, even if you look at like a lair action or whatever, you're still concentrating all of that HP in one big bag. And unless you also build in some sort of degradation, like some sort of weakening as they hit lower and lower HP values, there's never going to be parity between a single combatant and, 10 combatants in, balanced to the same CR. There's never going to be parity. Even if you allow more kind of offensive opportunity for that single combatant, the big bag of HP problem is still there. So it means that it's actually a monster-sided issue at this point, because the fact that all of their HP is contained inside of like one unit, and there's no difference defensively or offensively on most monsters, at least, or on all 5e monsters until I think recently when they reintroduced Bloodied. There was no difference between them being at full HP, 3/4 HP, half HP, quarter HP. There's no difference between all of those things. So just getting a monster lower and lower, their offensive power stays the same. But if you have your power spread out amongst, 6 combatants, they can down one of those, and now your offensive power is down, right? If the monster does a 1/6 of your total HP on your side, that might take your offensive power down by a 1/6. But if you take a 1/6 of their HP down, it's not going to take them down. And these like factors like that balance it together are very inconsistent, right? So in theory, you have the big bag of HP versus, which is like a monster-sided thing if there are very few monsters. And you also have the action economy, the like offensive opportunities and capabilities and focusing that is theoretically a negative towards those monsters. And so like in theory, those two things could balance out and make it not a problem. But I think what happens more often is it just kind of changes. It does balance out, but it makes the standard deviation of a combat so much wider, right? Or so much higher. Like it makes the variance and the unpredictability of a combat from a design perspective so much more varied, so much more chaotic, so much harder to plan for. And because that variety, that chaos can, tip monster or player sided, I think then GMs have to be a little bit more conservative with their designing and with their planning, which is the thing I don't like. It's why I tend towards horde stuff or just like tons of combatants, because then I can design it pretty like up to the line. Like I can make it pretty damn hard, but because the offensive opportunity and also defensive weakness essentially is as split on both sides, it makes it a lot more understandable ahead of time. It makes it a lot more predictable on generally what's going to happen, right? And it makes especially like the timing of things a lot more predictable. So my opinion on, something like a phase combat where a boss has multiple turns, that I think addresses the offensive side of the equation. Now you have to address the defensive side. You would also have to like give them a negative rider to their attack rolls or their damage rolls when they reach certain HP thresholds to represent the offensive power waning as the combat goes on. If you were trying to tackle both from either side. I think it's just a D&D problem. It is a D&D problem. Yeah. In Sprig's house, there were quite a few enemies. That's true. That's a good example. That's a really good example. There were quite a few enemies at Sprig's house. And I didn't think that combat seemed particularly challenging to them just because the adversaries weren't the strongest. They were relying on ambush, and the combat was mostly just to get sprig of combat, I think. So definitely not the most challenging, but I would almost guarantee more predictable for Matt in how it was going to go. Yeah. Stupid mobs are very little work to run, satisfying for players to AoE sweep, and are an escalating problem. Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. I love having a few intelligent enemies with a bunch of stupid gribblies. I love it. That is my my preference for like thinking about horde stuff. Yeah. You essentially turn them into auto battle mods? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The minionize rule absolutely does that. Where like you just have to make like targeting decisions, and you don't really have to worry about damage. You don't really have to worry about like anything beyond that. And especially like I said, if I have, you know, the kind of targeting flowchart, I don't even have to think about, you know, who are they going to go after. I give them very simple logic on who they're going to attack so that it still feels dynamic and changing, but they only have like 1 to 2 to 3 rules to follow. So that it's very easy in my head while I'm actually running it. Yeah. You said horde battles? That's a relief. Yeah. Yeah. It's a nice tool to have in your toolbox, but shouldn't be overused for multiple reasons. The phase stuff, interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Talking about your D&D campaign is like trying to describe a dream. That's true. Yeah. So anyways, I don't know. This is... The map design is very cool. The monster design is fine. These bullets are fine.
Jump into its throat.
Jump again.
I would like to.
I don't think they're at the same level.
Smash my stone knuckles together and cast a large.
Okay.
Get some fire resistance. God damn.
Big rock.
Yeah!
Whoa, what is that?
He's swole.
I don't think we've seen this.
That's been it every time.
Yeah, every time.
I was so far away, yeah.
You're always so far away that you've never actually looked at it.
Oh, Grog is scary.
Put me down.
Fuck, I'm sorry, you're scary.
Could I do reckless growing weapon master?
Yes, you may.
Which is something Travis would say.
Oh, bird down. Put me down.
Something Travis would say.
Good. Minus what? 26.
Yeah, that is.
Nice. 11, 37 on the first.
How do you want to do this?
Yes!
We got baby stuff.
Yeah.
Happy.
Happy birthday.
After it just finishes humming up and you get off the ground, still like feeling the sizzling of its salivary liquid on your body.
Yeah.
You sing the song to yourself as it writes itself. Its mouth opens once more, and as you bring the axe down right above its head, you crack the center of its armored plate. The top of its head caves in, and you watch as the eyes just go dull, and the body collapses and falls to the ground, unmoving.
Yeah.
Its body is
And you know, to the credit of, I think it was Erdturd Mons or ES Goril. Oh, ES Goril. To their credit of, I'm not sure this was supposed to be a huge challenge for VM. I was talking about the like offensive and defensive side of this a lot. There is something to be said for not addressing the defensive side of things, right? So like not like if you're taking this boulette and like pumping them up more on the offensive side, but not as far on the defensive, so that the combat itself goes pretty quickly. But because they are pumped up in terms of their offense, so maybe you give them a lair, a legendary action, you buff their bite attack, someone mentioned earlier, you know, you buff the already strong bite attack. You give them a lot of offensive capability, but you don't increase their defense. So their defense is pretty weak. They turn into kind of glass cannons. And then the combat does become a little bit of like a resource expenditure question of how can we dispatch these enemies in a way that uses the least resources? And if you really up their offensive capabilities, it also becomes a question of what resources do we spend to end this as quickly but also as economically as possible, because the longer they stay around, the more damage they're going to do to us, the more likely we have to long rest, etc., etc. That relies on having a good time pressure, which I think they do in this arc, and it relies on the on you having some levers to pull, I think, as a GM in terms of resource expenditure. Because if you make all of these glass cannons and run the glass cannon combat, you can have an idea of how much their resources they'll have expended, but you won't really know. And so it's very easy, I think, to over-design the later parts of the dungeon, assuming that they won't have expended as many resources. That's only a problem, though, if your players, refuse to retreat, which we've already made a joke about this stream, or if there's no way to long rest. Because, I generally would opt on the side of challenging my players more than less. So if you want this to be a really, really fast resource drain, I think that can work with how these boulettes were designed. I honestly think the map is maybe a little bit over-designed, if that's the point. But, it's fine either way. I'll never turn down a fun map. You just then have to be careful about what comes next, right? Do you have other planned resource expenditure points within this dungeon? If you do, maybe, you build in a way to scale it back if you want to in the moment. Like you build in an easy way to do that. Maybe you build 2 versions of the same thing, depending on how this boulette combat goes, right? If everyone had just missed Grog, or missed the boulette, just rolled bad, and Grog has to stay in the stomach for 2 turns just because the dice go that way. When you are just trying to drain resources, that can maybe go a little bit overboard. And so you want to make sure that the dungeon afterwards is not just pressing in on them repeatedly, unless they're willing to retreat. I love and think it's important to try and build in a sense of retreat as an option to your players early on. But Matt hasn't really done that. So if you haven't done that, I think you need to be careful with your future dungeon design. If you've built into them and into their thought process that retreat is an option and retreat, is something they should consider, fucking go nuts. You don't have to worry about over-designing. If it's over-designed, they'll retreat. So, in the ideal world, I think it's actually not really a big deal. Go nuts with your resource expenditure and your time constraints and whatever, and let their skill play out. But if you haven't taught them to retreat, you could very easily run yourself into a TPK with that line of thought.
Still there, though, because it's very big. It only loses about 2 feet of height as it collapses, and it's still blocking a large portion of that hallway right now.
Right.
What's your first hit?
Good deal.
You still have half your movement still, so you just have to get up from prone.
Right. Should I try and push him out of the way?
Just jump over. Yeah, just vault over him.
Yeah, I'm gonna just over the side, hardcore parkour. Yeah. One hand up.
The Duke boys just sliding over the hood of the car.
Using your boots or just making an athletics check as part of your move?
Yeah, let's use the boots.
Okay.
Yeah, barrel leaping.
So go make your athletics check.
So that's gonna be a 26.
All right, so you leap.
27. Towards you, towards his left.
Okay, so.
Yeah.
All right.
And I'll move up.
You have 25 more feet.
Oh, I do, don't I?
You're fucking perfect. There you go. You can use your piece. Look at that. Oh my god.
Can I get around here on the ground?
Yeah, you could. You will take this. You make an acrobatics check to see if you can avoid the lava as you do that.
Yeah.
All right, make an acrobatics, not athletics.
Acrobatics, 16.
16. You just barely make it around that corner, curling around.
Nice.
So yeah, you don't go foot first in the lava like somebody else did earlier.
I know, but you're going
From there. Yeah, that's about where you can get right there. Yeah.
I'm right there.
Okay, that's the end of your turn, Grog. Scaling, you're up.
All right, as my holy self, imbued with the holy power of whatever I am, I just sort of float up a bit, draw my great sword that I always use to attack because I'm awesome, and just bring it down real hard on the head of the thing.
Okay, go ahead and roll for an attack.
So you're not naked?
Ooh.
Are you naked with a sword hanging from your hip, or are you
He's hitting with a stick.
No, I'm naked with a sword. I've got a belt. I'm naked with a belt.
Tight.
He's Mr. November.
That is 21.
Yeah.
Hits.
Okay.
Mr. November.
21 hits.
The babies don't have quite as hard armor. So as you bring the great sword down, you strike with this large swipe of bright divine radiant energy, and as it slams into the top of its head, it explodes with radiant power.
Do I roll or do I use these stats?
No, you roll damage. That's it for me.
Okay.
So 4d6 plus 7 slashing.
7, 12, 18 plus 7 is 25.
Correct.
Plus I need 5d8.
Oh, yeah. Use mine. They just did very good.
Jeez.
Yeah, dude. Planestar form is messing around.
Ooh, these are all bad.
Oh my god.
Well, you didn't shake them. You just put them down.
Yeah, that's what I do.
The shadiest roll ever. If you did that in Vegas, they'd be like, oh
The
no.
boss over here disapproves.
Plus 14. So that's 39, right?
39, yes.
On my first attack.
Okay, so first off, before I forgot earlier, Grog, you did take Another 7 points of fire damage from just being in the proximity of the corpse, which is still emanating heat, by the way. So starting your turn near that.
Because I have resistance from the enlargement now.
Correct. Well, at the top of your turn, you got that.
Got
so you're not enlarged inside.
Copy that.
And you also, so your plantar form did take 10 points of fire damage in your proximity to that one there as well. So mark that.
Okay.
However, you, with that first strike, slam down and cleave the head in half. You watch as the baby's head just... You're taking 49 damage before from her chain lightning. And so with that second hit, whack, it just kind of... and falls to the ground, no longer moving. There's only one currently living child on the battlefield.
All right, well then I'll say a silent prayer for the fallen and then fly backwards super fast to the other one. And attack again.
Okay.
Yes, maybe you can make it a pet.
Nope.
More.
Oh, 18.
18 still hits.
Oh, hey. All right. Oh, look at all these crazy things. 5, 9, 10, 11, 12. Plus, that's not very good. Plus,
It was 12 plus 7.
That's right, 19.
So 19 damage.
Plus 6, 7, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Whatever I just said. Is that 19 plus 19?
19 plus 19.
Okay.
So
34.
38 damage.
Oh, thank you.
That kills it, yeah. So you hack one down, dart across the way with your blade screaming in the air. It actually kind of cuts through the rock as it sparks across the ceiling. With a little space you have, your wings open.
And, you know, to be fair to this, as a resource drain combat, she chained lightning, he used true polymorph. I mean, they definitely expended some resources, you know, don't get me wrong. And if you're looking to do that quickly, I mean, this combat went pretty damn fast. When did this start? 219-ish? I mean, this is like a 45-minute combat. You know, I was being real critical of the boulettes and especially like their design with this map. But if we're thinking about the goal of the combat, like what's the goal of the combat? If the goal of the combat is just to drain out a few resources during this dungeon crawl, it did that in pretty short order. So, like, you know, take all of my previous complaints or critiques with a massive grain of salt. Those are critiques around making an interesting combat that is like, I don't want to say a challenge in and of itself, but is like, it is meant to be some amount of challenge, right? If the combat is just, let's make Vox spend out some resources, I think it's good that those sorts of combats are fast. Honestly, I just hadn't put myself in the mindset of this being that sort of combat because the map is so good. Like, I thought this was going to be a very challenging combat because the map is so solid. I wish that combats that were more important had this good of map design. But, you know, I'm not going to turn down a good map, and if I don't hold it up to a certain expectation just because of its map, this certainly drained out some resources. It did it quickly. It did some damage. Took out some spell slots. So, you know, probably pretty successful. Maybe, you know, like I said, maybe a little bit over-tuned, a little bit over-designed for its purpose. But that's like the lowest tier of complaint that I can really have about it. Is it him having put too much time into something?
Schwa, slam down to the second child and watches its armored body cracks open. The radiant blast expands and bursts when the blade is actually dug a few inches into its form, causing you to destroy it from the inside of its armored shell. You watch its body kind of inflates for a second and then falls limp.
I hope ES Gorilla. I really hope so. I would love to watch Matt have fun with maps. Crossing my dang fingers. Because he really goes in and out for me of having interesting maps, and it really just seems like it's like, what does he put time into? Because I know he can make cool maps. It's just often not a feature.
Smoke against the pore from its wounds.
So I'd love to see him experiment more.
With that,
Expanding on you.
you guys have wiped out the current danger.
I feel like there's more coming.
No. That was it. We definitely.
We did say the
stopped.
current danger on the
we
battlefield.
I mean, the core is just gonna, the anvil is gonna float up
It's very hot.
from the magma.
It's so hot.
It's a complicated trade. As you heard me to this.
Yeah, I pulled my leg earlier this week. Moving up and down kind of sucks. So as you sit there in the silence there for a moment, just hearing the occasional nearby lava that fills the nearby hallway, you don't feel any further rumbling. And it's just the heat emanating from the corpses of these 3 magma bullets. What do you do?
Can I look around for anything that resembles an anvil or a shelf or something that one might wackadoodle on?
Give me an investigation check.
Nice. Watch me knock this out of the park.
Let's do more perception check for this one. This is less like searching.
That's better. Still shitty, 11.
The pathway still continues to descend and curve around, but that's it.
The pathway still continues to descend and around.
Wow, very observant of you, Bob. Descended around.
What?
Copy that.
Can we see now because of all the glow coming from? Or does it have glow?
Yeah, well, the area in here, most of you, aside from Percival, can see decently in low light anyway, or dark vision.
We eventually have to. It's only been about 25 seconds, but we do eventually have to breathe.
Yes.
I'll use my chalice.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So you all take
Pass the
another
jug.
breath.
What about me?
You, as a planetar, let's see here.
I think I'm dying.
What? Why?
I don't know. I think I probably need air.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, you have a pretty high con bonus. You can hold your breath for 7 minutes.
I'll do that. So,
I feel like, I mean, I'm sure that it doesn't say this on their sheet, but I can't imagine planetars have to breathe. Like, that seems kind of ridiculous on its face. I would bet that, like, mechanically there's nothing to indicate that. Like, I would bet that their sheet would indicate for all intents and purposes that they have to breathe. Like, or there's nothing saying that they don't, but that seems ludicrous, and I think I would probably, like, rule in the moment of, like, you don't need to breathe. It's fine.
fair.
Because, like, they're celestials. They're from the fucking heavens. They might as well be from space. You're telling me that there's, like, the right oxygen mix inside of the Elysium for, like, humanoids to breathe? I think it's just that you're, like, in heaven. I don't think there's, like, air, so to speak. I think you're just, like, on a different plane where physics works different. It would be embarrassing for a celestial to drown. That would be crazy. It would just be embarrassing. I don't think they breathe. I don't think they breathe.
Still have hero's feast?
No,
Are you immune to
you do.
poison?
I don't think I do. I'm a new body.
True polymorph. You absorb your gear, but you don't benefit from it. But it doesn't say anything about you not benefiting from
Previous spells and
abilities.
bonuses. That's an interesting point. So I'd say that you
Soul
probably wouldn't have
is imbued
much
with
of an
yours,
issue.
just not the body.
Correct.
Okay.
Haha.
Interesting.
See, so there.
But we're like
True
along
polymorph.
the path
Wait.
to the water that
the
I
target's
saw.
gear melds into the new form. The creature cannot activate, use, wield, or otherwise benefit from any of its equipment. But it doesn't say anything else
you
other
go.
than equipment.
Thank you, Lindsay Lohan.
That one I'm with.
You're very welcome.
Oh wow.
Yeah, no,
You're
okay.
so
I'll,
welcome.
I still can't breathe.
you still have the same effect earlier that she put on you, so you still have the water breathing.
Oh,
Yeah.
so I can breathe some water.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
You're just
Not that you need to.
Sure.
you're flying in here with the small space you have.
Sure.
And being a large creature, like the fact that you flew across, you were only like a few inches off the ground as you darted over. It's only about like 10 to 12 feet tall, and you're about maybe 9 feet tall.
And you're
Not a lot
12
of
feet tall. So you're like hitting the
crouching.
ceiling?
And
Yeah, you're having
I'm going to start peering around the corner with the flashlight.
we're under 2 minutes away from the water that I previously made it up to and didn't go into, correct?
correct. You're maybe like 40 seconds away from it.
Okay.
I'm going to head that way.
Ditto.
You guys dart around the corner and follow to the next pool. You have your means of passing water around and keeping yourselves vital, but the path continues to curve in almost like a haphazard spiral. It curves around, and then if you continue to watch as it passes, it evens out and then goes into a fairly steep decline, like a 45-degree decline.
Should I try flying down there
Well,
with the broom?
with 30 seconds away from the water. I've already gone this way and come back to you guys. So, I mean, unless something has jumped in the hole while I was gone in that time, I've already covered this ground.
This is further than you covered.
Oh, okay.
Like there's the pool of water you saw, and then if you continue around that way, you can see it curve as you glance around and it descends at a steady decline.
There's the pool of water is just a pool of water. It's not another
Small little.
Yeah, it's a small little pit.
I'm
not
going to
another
recast Pass Without a Trace on all of us. P.S.
Okay.
Just in case there's more
I can
rumblings.
follow you down the tubes. I've got my boots on.
So you're gonna do twins, want to scout?
Yeah. Sneaky, sneaky.
Okay. The pool of water, by the way, if you glance down and look past the surface, it does have a cylindrical tube that seems to be feeding the liquid into it, but it's much smaller. It maybe gets to about that big of a pinching point before it vanishes out of sight.
Of your hands, oh boy.
Yeah, of like the pool. But continuing down the path of the tunnel as it curves around and then goes into the decline, it continues and maintains its width of about 15 to 20 feet on either side. And you glance down the decline, and it looks like there's a portion of the ground that opens up, and glowing molten rock kind of slowly drips and dribbles down for about 40 or 50 feet.
I'm going to cast Detect Evil and then wordlessly speak to you all.
Oh, in our brains?
Uh-huh,
I like
And
it.
say, brothers and sisters,
Oh no.
allow me to guide us by the spirits of my religious faith down into the depths of this hell place.
While he's talking, I turn to my sister and go,
Are you still you, Scanlan, just in another body, or are you really like...
Yes, my child.
Okay.
Inside.
Boners and wanks. Cool.
Love that song, Boners and Wings. Boners
It's
and
weird that
Wings.
you're 9 feet tall, but your penis is still a cube.
That's my choice. so you can recognize me.
Dr. Manhattan, but the opposite.
If I die in a fight and you have to go to a lab and identify the body,
That's the
you'll
one.
be like, oh, it's him. It's him.
And they shall know him by his cube.
Sorry. Yes, lead
we're
the
back.
way.
And
If
we're
you
back.
can. Lead the way.
So you just glide down your own way. The air is extremely warm. You feel as it passes by you, holding your breath at this point, because you are not near any source of water. It looks like you're not carrying one with you. You glide down rapid speed past the lava, which eventually comes and cools this like clump, this like small mound where it seems like a recent kind of a hole it punched out of, and then begin to dribble down. And it's been cooling and kind of causing this extra layer on the tunnel. Everything here seems to be in this weird state of flux. You continue past it, and it just drops into a tunnel below, maybe about 20 or 30 feet wide, and just descends downward.
Straight down.
Straight down.
I'll go down a bit.
Okay. You descend about 30 or 4 feet, and this cylinder-like tunnel comes to a halt. It stops.
Am I detecting any evil?
You are not detecting any evil, no. Do you have dark vision in this form?
I don't know.
Dude, I'll also say something I hadn't thought about until I just heard that description. Of of these tunnels, right? These caves. I've never run a super theater of the mind session in a cave with tunnels like this. And I'm realizing as I listen to him describe it, there's, I had a problem with like the varying areas not feeling distinct enough, right? To kind of organize in theater of the mind. I think there's an even like broader kind of issue in that it's a little bit difficult to describe a tunnel, especially like a long series of tunnels and chambers that are all kind of fading in and out of like what's a chamber, what's a tunnel. It's hard to describe that. It's hard to describe like how many feet across is it and have that like make intuitive sense to people. Like if I say this building that you're walking up to is 3 stories tall, right? I don't even know how tall that is. If I had to be completely real with you, I can't think of how tall that is in like meters or feet. But I can say that to the people at the table, and at least on the major points of the height of the building, we're going to be pretty aligned, right? They're going to have a pretty decent image of what a 3-story tall building looks like. Or generally like how that feels. Whereas when I think about a 45-degree grade on a tunnel, I don't have a good sense of what that would actually look and feel like to traverse, and like what, like, and then the fact that it would just like go and then just like drop into like a shaft, I think. But you can't even like really, I mean, I guess you could call it a shaft, but Matt didn't, and I don't blame him for not thinking of that word in the moment. But it's just like, oh, you're going through a sideways tunnel into a curvy down tunnel into a straight down tunnel. But Matt didn't even use that descriptive of language. And again, I don't really blame him. I think he's using an amount of description that would be normal if they were in the woods or in the city or whatever. But because I think it is like legitimately just like kind of hard to describe variation within what a tunnel looks like. At least to me in my head, I'm like, a tunnel's kind of a tunnel, right? Like is it, like it's there's not a lot to actually work with in terms of mentally descriptive imagery unless you add landmarks along the way or have like sub biomes. Like I mentioned having like a mushroom, area, or whatever. That would be a way to help with the organization of it. Now, does the organization really matter? It matters if you want to like portray a challenge to it, I think, or if you want to work in like a puzzle or an environmental encounter or like challenge, I think the organization of where things are matters. And especially if you don't want it to feel like they're just walking in a straight line and just encountering things on that straight line path. I think the organization matters. I think for Matt specifically, most of Matt's dungeons take on the form of enter, da-da-da-da-da-da, do a thing, da-da-da-da-da-da, do another thing, da-da-da-da-da. There's not a lot of choice within Matt's dungeons, typically. And so I don't think it's going to like go that poorly for him to any degree. But I think if you want to make it more complicated, or like work more into this exploration or this dungeon, rather than just straight line landmark, I think I don't know. Tunnels are hard to like keep track of in your head, I think. Or at least that's the impression that I'm getting right now, is I'm having a ton of trouble keeping track of this. Yeah. Add some waypoints. Ooh, run ads? Nah. We're on a time crunch today. Add some waypoints in your tunnel network, glowing mushrooms, sharp crystals, distinct lights, etc. Yeah, it's like those waypoint-esque features, which like, you know, to an extent, Matt has kind of done. Like, you could say that this boulette room is a waypoint and that, like, the rest of it kind of doesn't matter. It's just random connective nothing between points. But if that's the case, I would run them through it a little bit quicker as Matt. I wouldn't be like, what are you doing? Or, you know, if you're going to design a straight path railroad, treat it like one. Honestly, like the benefit of having a straight line railroad where there are not a lot of decisions to make is that you can get through that really fast and like get to the interesting parts really, really quickly. So I would maybe lean a little bit more into that as Matt. I disagree with this take, IMO. Doing this allows the players to picture their version of the tunnel. The real dimensions are not necessary until there's something to interact with. I mean, I agree with that. I think that Matt is running this as if there are things to interact with, right? Like, he's running this with like a what do you do next? And then they have to like make a roll, you know, like Travis made a roll and then Matt was like, well, the tunnel just continues on, and he's waiting for them to trigger moving forward, which would imply to me that there are decisions and things to interact with here, right? If he's waiting for players to make a decision, that implies that there's a decision to make. Same thing with this, like, shaft. It's like, okay, like, why wouldn't they go down it, I guess? Like, especially Planetar Boys in the lead. Like, why even stop here? I definitely appreciate the aspect of allowing the players to picture their own versions of it in their mind. But I think that, you know, if you're going to have this straight line theater of the mind thing going on, you can go through that a lot quicker and allow them to, you know, create their own mental picture. It's just not going to be good for any decision making, I would say. So as long as there's not like a ton of decision making to make, or the decision making is like you come up to a thing, you know, do you jump it, I guess? I don't know. I do so little straight lining like this. I kind of avoid it like the plague if I can. So this is like very alien to me of like of that sort of idea. Like I think the maybe classic example would be just like a locked door. It's like there's no decision making, it's just an obstacle, right? Or like this with the boulette, it's just an obstacle. And like that's fine. It just, I would go through it a lot faster, I guess. Pro tip, audible waypoints. There's a persistent drip from the ceiling in this room with a puddle in the far corner. Later, you can hear the slight echo of a drip from the quarter on the left. Yeah, that's fun. That's fun. Okay. Yeah, I see that. Slightly muddy ground. You see footprints on the ground from that way. There are no footprints down that corridor. I mean, and all of this sounds more like, you know, a tunnel network where there are things that loop back, right? Like, even in your description, you're kind of assuming it's not a straight line, even though it does kind of seem to be a straight line. So, yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
What does it say?
It says true sight. You have,
Oh, I have
you,
true sight.
you don't have dark vision. You have everything
You have all
vision.
vision.
You're predator vision.
I can also speak every language.
Really?
And given that case, as soon as you land, you look up and you can see across the rock here, there is one portion of the wall that is smoother than the rest in like a somewhat concave, almost like a perfect square across the opposite side. And you can see in there these very, very faint runes or glyphs that are pressed into the stone. Like part of it has been...
Yeah, man, I really need to like adjust my mindset because honestly, the entire time I was thinking about that and I was talking, in my head, like I'm just assuming that you want to build in decision making when you're like making a dungeon or like making this sort of sequence. Like I'm just outright assuming that you don't want it to just be a straight line with a series of obstacles on that line. But if you do, I guess, yeah, like you can just do that. I don't think it's super fun, but, or like interesting, but it is like an option at your disposal, that, Matt uses frequently, a la the Viscon Raishan dungeon. That was just a straight line with a series of obstacles in it. Yeah, super not my thing. It certainly is easier to prep, which is nice. If you are doing, very high theater of the mind, then it does allow you to go through spaces much faster. If you're kind of just like, skipping from one landmark to the other, one interactable to another. And it doesn't put as much mental pressure on the players to keep that all straight in their mind. They can just look at what they're dealing with right now, what's right in front of them, ask maybe some clarifying questions. But it'll go pretty quick. They don't need to like remember the rest of the dungeon. I guess this is also how Kamalja Ori was designed. Like this seems to be just like, I guess Matt's go-to standard dungeon design is just a straight line. Yeah, I think that's boring, but there are advantages to it. And I don't want to downplay those too much. It is way easier. It's way easier to describe. Like, it's easier in basically every sense. So, if you take that time and put it into stuff that you like more, like if you really like designing combats or puzzles or whatever, if you put that extra attention that you would have given maybe to the layout of the dungeon, if you give it that attention to the obstacles that they have to run into, and you make those really, really interesting, then, then that's fine. Then I think that's okay. But yeah, I'm not too interested in this dungeon. This dungeon is a little disappointing to me. Like I made reference last stream about the like concentric areas of security, but even when I was describing the sort of concentric areas of security, I made mention of, it's a different option if they go to the first floor or the second floor or the third floor. Like, you keep it simple, but you still have decision points, options. There's still kind of like a graph that they go through with decisions along the way. Whereas with the sort of straight line method, I guess, of Matt here in these dungeons, there's no decision making. It's just overcoming the obstacles. Yeah. Fun fact, you can do less work. You can do less work, which is fair, which is totally fair. Point of fact, due to how liquid flows, most tunnels in real life are straight lines. Yeah, but we're also like playing D&D. Right, this is sort of like most periods in world history are pretty boring. Most areas of the world are pretty boring. Like when I'm playing D&D, I choose the interesting, points in time or parts of history or parts of the world, right? It is sort of like a weird hyper reality in a sense, but real life is really boring. And so I am like actively tilting the scales to put them in the most interesting scenarios. So yeah, most tunnels would be straight lines, but maybe some tunnels crisscross them. Maybe, we have boulettes that are making more naturalistic tunnels, right? We have like adversaries, or you can just say animals, that are living within these tunnels. So you will have the straight line tunnels from the lava, but then you might also have a more like ant colony network of tunnels, or like a mole rat sort of thing, with these boulettes that could offer a more complicated approach to the dungeon design. Not using real life to explain away how Matt builds maps. Real life does not equal Magic Land. True. Yeah. Yeah, you got it then. You got me. You understand what I'm saying. So, it's not that, like, I have a problem with the tunnels being straight line. It's more just that I have a problem with the, like, entire dungeon being a metaphorical straight line, right? Of, like, because in theory, there were other tunnels that branched off. We heard Matt describe them. So there are theoretically a more complex series of tunnels. Matt just never made the players actually like choose and decide that. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
Untouched for quite some time.
What do they say?
Did they say anything? Is there writing or is it just symbols or?
Because you can read any language, right?
Yeah.
It says
Citizen of the world.
Languages all.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
This is the most irritated I've ever seen Matt. That's just like,
Planetar, not Ion?
Yes.
This is Planetar.
Yeah.
This is how you must stay always.
I agree.
Glancing at the glyphs here, they don't appear to be a. There are roots of magical arcane glyphs here, but whatever enchantment there was here is very faint. It's more about the message or image that is sent here, and it is an exit seal. It is a final word of those that utilize the space within, and it translates to, "Here, the crafter's halls lay dark. The means of making the world ender, gone. All hammer protect us all."
You don't say. You don't say that's what it says, really. I'm making it sound like I don't believe it. I believe it. I'm just like, that's interesting. That's very, very interesting. Glancing at the glyphs, yeah. Here the crafter's halls lay dark, the means of making the world ender. It could just be a big-ass weapon. World Ender could mean so many things. World Ender could be Alduin. World Ender could also be a big-ass freaking sword. Interesting.
To hear the crafter's halls lay dark. The means of making the world ender, gone. All hammer protect us all.
All hammer.
This also seems like it could be
The all hammer, make a religion check.
The Allhammer was.
You're not.
Oh, right.
Yep.
Crafter's hall remains dark.
Looking.
Right?
Religion.
Means
The world ender could also be a
Would you just make a
person.
wisdom check?
11 plus.
Like I said, it could be all done.
Yes. And you're recalling that information. Yeah.
No, but it would be
You have this information in your mind.
Okay.
I'll say based on as long as you don't roll a 1.
You don't remember it, but you remember it.
it'd be an intelligence roll.
The Allhammer is the one of the prime gods, one of the deities of family, craft, and construction of fine, important things. It is the patron saint of all craftsmen, blacksmiths, forge masters, artisans, and from the information you received from Ayun, the creator of and last user of the core anvil.
So it's like the Allhammer lies beyond or something like that?
It's dark.
It's dark?
No, it's basically it was an exit phrase placed on this door for the last person who was in this.
Here the crafter's soul remains dark, the Allhammer, blah, 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 blah.
Watch
That's
over
all I
us
got.
or something.
Watch over. Something about watching over us.
Parking in rear.
Watching, yeah. Validate free parking.
Before you leave, yes.
Before you leave, yeah. They appear. Yeah.
I'll fly back and report to the rest.
Okay.
In my pristine body, my pristine hairless body. And that is what I saw.
That was just all in our heads. We just heard you speaking in our heads the whole time.
Impressive, Barbarella.
I mean, I think that's what we're looking for, right?
Yeah, let's go.
So, but it was there's a flight down, yeah?
That's okay. We have
Carpet?
means.
Yeah, carpet.
Hold on 1 second. I'm back to being pristine again.
This is so. Just so everyone here understands, just imagine between most conversations here, there's somebody just doing that into a small jar of water.
And it's all like cloudy now
Yeah, it's
from everybody.
disgusting.
There's bits of food.
How often does it re-up? Can you re-up that jar?
You're just
Oh God, it's like nasty water.
you're just motorboating a gravy bowl.
It's like a horse trough. Just hair.
It is getting a little thick. Oh God.
So should we head down there?
Yeah.
Did it seem like you could pass through that door?
Oh, I didn't try the door.
You didn't try to get through it?
land.
Sorry.
It's all right. We can find a way. It's just a door.
Just the door. We'll be fine.
Yeah, we're great history doors. Great history doors. Let's go.
Let's do it.
Alrighty. So who's doing what to get down
I'm
there?
walking down there.
The motorboat.
Okay, you're on the side.
What'd you say, 40 or 50
Flying
feet?
down with a broom.
All right, flying with a broom.
You just hover.
Does anybody else need a ride? Do you?
I mean, with the broom at this point, if they are not under pressure, which they kind of were before when Matt made them jump the lava river, that was before they had really gotten used to the whole like breathing out of the water stuff. So I don't blame him at all for like running that. But at this point, they have infinite air, so that's not like a problem. And they have a way to safely get over any gap you would put between them or you would put in front of them. So like, even like making them cross the gap, like narrate how they cross the gap, I'm a little bit like, nah, we could cut that.
need to ramp your wings out, or do you want to get on the
I'm
broom?
going to save those. I'll get on the broom. You're offering me a run on the broom.
I've got the carpet.
Lovely. Let's go.
Kids on the carpet.
All right, so.
Yeah, I'll take the carpet or whatever.
All right, so it's Grog and Keel from the carpet. You two on the broom.
Yes.
You flying. We're good. The rest of you guys descend down the 45-degree grade and make it past where the lava seems to have stopped and cooled and begin to collect and thicken up. Eventually, you find the area where it drops off into darkness below, this like cylindrical tunnel. You guys make it down the 30 or so feet where it stops, and it takes you a moment based on where Scanlan points you towards, but you can kind of make out the runes he was mentioning. Percy, you're the only one who can read them.
Yeah, it's more of that. All right.
Yeah.
What?
What does it say?
What is
It's
it?
sort of a shop's closed.
Well, can we reopen it?
No indicator of that. It was essentially like all right, key's locked up forever. Bye.
What do we do?
Bless the seal.
Bust through this shit or undo it? Do we have a way to cancel the seal out?
So it's quite literally like a family business. We're closed. We're tired.
You get
bars
that.
in
You get
front
that
of it.
sense.
Is
The forge was made by and for the use of the Allhammer, and the Allhammer is locked somewhere on its own plane across the other side of the Divine Gate and has been for 800 years. So
And we've got a god-made doorway in front of us. And
Something made, you're not
Something
sure.
made door, right. And natural rock around it, or is everything carved?
natural volcanic rock. It's still that same kind of crumbly, porous, black stone.
Well, let's want to touch the door, see if it's got a.
Okay. It feels like the rest of the surrounding stone.
There's no obvious mechanism for opening it.
Make an investigation check.
Can I pray to?
Is it an actual door? I'm a little bit confused, if I'm being honest. I thought it was just like a smooth portion of the wall that they were comparing to a door. Is it an actual door? Like, is there like a seal? Is there a slit on it? Is there like a handle? Have they tried to open it?
Ugh.
A door like
That's awful.
obstruction.
No, 6.
Sure.
No current sign of anything.
Anytime I look for anything worthwhile, I just sort of stare at rock going, huh,
That's me.
found rock.
I'm just gonna pray to Palor. I don't know if it makes a difference.
What are you going to pray for?
I'm going to say,
It's a big
well,
rock obstruction no matter
we
what.
are here at a doorway. I don't know if you speak to the Allhammer, if you know anything about this, but if you have any way to help us get through this, now would be the time. Trying to do, good work here for you and for all of mankind.
What about your bean?
Oh, yeah, well, I'm going to take the bean out and stay all that shit again with the bean in between my hands. Actually, I'm going to whisper it to the bean.
Okay.
Because, it's part of him, sort of.
Can you hear the ocean?
In the bean.
Ocean beam. Okay, yeah, putting the words and thoughts out there. Like I said, prayer is still a foreign thing to you that you're slowly learning to do.
That's why it was so good.
There's no words that respond, but you do get a warm sense just kind of pushing you forward. You get the idea from whatever guidance Pelor is sending your direction, and you can translate from your only recently somewhat faithful heart that you're on the right path. But that's as much as you can muster from the conversation.
Thanks.
I mean, I don't want to jump the gun, but I did punch a volcano today. This door, probably not too big a tuna for me to fillet, you know what I mean?
Yeah, give it a shot.
I mean, unless the runes say, if you punch, melt you will.
Yeah, it will
Didn't say
collapse.
anything like that.
No, nothing at all.
It just seems like it's just closed.
Are they glowing runes? Are they magical runes? Do they seem like
this,
they're magic?
This is an interesting point I should have recalled. Grog, are you still in your large form or not?
Yeah.
How did you use the magic carpet to get across?
Oh,
That carpet will not carry you in your large form.
Oh, good point. Yeah, so...
You're little. Or you could have,
Just slid down. Maybe.
Oh, yeah, could you have stretched to your side and he does, a Ninja Warrior shit down the tube?
Cool.
Well, we don't know how
Down
bad
the
it
tube?
Well, that's what I mean.
The passageway heading downward.
Wait. Is this stuff all at the bottom of the tube? I thought that the shaft was just like a pitfall. You see what I mean by it being hard to visualize in ways that matter? Cause yeah, if he can just he could just fucking jump down the shaft. But I didn't think they were at the bottom of the shaft. I thought they were literally it leveled out, and then there was this door at the other end, and then there was a pit in front of the door that they all had to cross. But they're at the bottom of something? I mean, he could just fly down. I mean, he could just drop. He'll be fine.
It'll probably be somewhere in the neighborhood of between 15, 20 feet, yeah, so.
No.
What if a Wonder Woman sort of situation where you, because you got the siege gauntlets on,
How
and
long
you
the
make
drop- what's it
handholds?
going?
Well, the drop wasn't
You
the
know
issue.
what I'm
It was the
talking
40 feet of lava that was
Oh, is lava?
curling down.
Yeah, you would probably.
There's lava? Fucking... I forgot about that, I guess. There's 40 feet of lava that's curling down. I remember him saying that you got past the lava, but I didn't know what lava he was referring to. I thought he was referring to the lava back in the Boulette Cave.
I mean, you could fly down and then, put me in the necklace if you want.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
That's what I did.
bottom.
Pop, drink it out, flew back up, grab grub.
Okay.
Gave back
There, just from a logistical standpoint, I recall that.
Science.
Yeah, good call.
Okay. So,
And what if they have the capability to do it for free? Why even? And they're already doing it for some of them. Why force them to narrate it? It's. I don't know. This is the thing about Matt. He's done this in other scenarios. I get it. It's just I used to talk about it a lot in the earlier days of Critical Eyes, the pacing concerns. We're bringing back an oldie but a goodie. Pacing. Ugh. I don't know. I think we are learning that May cannot manipulate 3D objects in his mind's eye. I definitely can't. I definitely cannot. I don't know if I have full-on aphantasia or whatever. But when people are like, yeah, do you see an apple? I'm like, I don't know. I see. What do you mean see an apple? If I close my eyes, I can't see. Right? I don't have vision anymore. I can be apple. and it's like the idea of one. And I know that an apple is red and has a stem and has a leaf, and like maybe the leaf is green. But like, I don't know, it's just an apple. What am I supposed to, and how would I turn it? It's just an apple. So I don't know. Either way, it still blows my mind that people can't see things in their brain. I don't know if I am being, I don't know if I'm just not understanding what people mean when they say see things in their head. And I do have something that is like what other people have, but I just don't think of it like that. But I don't think I can. It sounds weird, the idea of like seeing something in your head. Like it sounds like a dream. Like, I don't know. But this is more, regardless of the aphantasia thing, you have the aphantasia. Well, maybe. You can't see Tony do a kickflip in your mind. I read that as Tony's big dick. And I can't see that either, unfortunately. I don't know who Tony is. But I can't see anything. But it's like, even with the aphantasia thing, because I do theater of the mind shit. I don't have like the memory for this sort of description. Like I'm not catching every pertinent detail and like relating it to the correct areas in my head. Like when I heard there's lava, I thought about the lava that I already knew was there. I didn't know it was new lava. How was I supposed to know it was new lava? And then they like talk about like a shaft, and then he talks about seeing a thing, and I'm like, oh, he didn't narrate he was looking down the shaft, right? Or unless he did, and I just missed it. But it's like I don't know. It's all very confusing to me, unless it's done very distinctly and deliberately. I'm losing track. And I want to be clear. To be fair, I'm not the only one. The players seem to be losing track as well. But a shaft like Tony's? Basically, you can process conceptually rather than through images. See, that seems like... Yeah, it seems like you say that, and I'm like, well, how else would you do it? But, that's what I would say if I had aphantasia. If I had the thing, that's what I would say were I to have the thing. So, fair enough. It definitely explains why you and I are on opposite sides of this opinion. I don't even think this is an aphantasia thing. I think this is like keeping this all straight in your head. Like, I have... this is why I don't think it's an aphantasia thing. Maybe it is. Maybe it is, and maybe I'm wrong. But I have an incredible sense of direction. Like, an immensely good sense of direction. Me and Paige were playing a video game the other day, and we went through a dungeon, took several twists and turns, and we're very far away from the start, and we needed to get back to the start. There was no like Skyrim shortcut exit at the end, but we had taken several shortcuts, several like branching paths, and I knew the exact way to get back. Like it's not like a problem of me like holding a layout in my mind. That's super simple for me to do. The problem here is that the layout is vague. I'm not getting like the amount of detail that I need to be like sure of anything. And like, ultimately it doesn't matter. Like, and like I said, like my main critique here is that Matt is like pretending like it matters, right? He's not just being like, yeah, you guys have 2 magical flying artifacts that you can use to shuffle people back and forth. Like, it doesn't matter that this is here. He's like making it matter and then saying, well, it matters because of this lava, which I mentioned earlier, but there's also, it's not different lava, right? If it was like, there's green lava and there's blue lava, it's like, okay, I'd be able to fucking remember that those are separate. But, you know, in this scenario, it's like, well, lava's just lava. And we didn't see any lava, you know, nearby where I assume the exit of the boulette room was. Like, I'm assuming where the exit was. I don't know where the exit was because the environment was not described with that much detail. But if it is where I thought it was, there's no lava over there. So this is new lava that was introduced that is a problem. And I am supposed to just like kind of imply where all of it is, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. When there's additional things described and worked in that don't matter, it's hard for me to like keep track of where all of the things are that all sound and look the same. I can't tell where lava A is versus lava B, you know? When there's like no difference in it. Yeah. We hate new lava. Old lava was so much better. Yeah, I don't know. I'm like, I like Theater of the Mind. I loved running Blades in the Dark. I like Theater of the Mind. This is one of the weakest displays of it to me, personally. Or the most confusing displays of it.
What are you guys going to do?
Are the runes glowing? Are the runes not glowing?
No, the runes aren't glowing. You get the sense, Scalen, that it was less that they were glowing, more that your true sight revealed the presence of some sort of...
To me, everything's glowing a little bit.
You are a little Neo in the Matrix in this new physical form.
I'm kind of, tell me why so, is sort of what I'm getting from
You see auras.
I mean, he doesn't see it with his.
I'm going to just take the sunstone like out of its little container and really light up the room and just illuminate the whole room now.
Okay.
Is there like a doorknob or anything that looks like a seal?
Or a device.
Make an
or
investigation
anything?
check.
Yes.
Thank you. So
Can you look at a picture of 2 3D objects and figure out how to rotate them so they fit together? Yeah. I mean, that would just be like, there's like only like one logical way to do that, right? Like if they fit together, they fit together. So there would be only one way to do that. Right? I've never taken like an aphantasia test. I can't even imagine what that would be. But I kind of think it's neither here nor there, is more what I'm saying. But I mean, okay, let's see. What is aphantasia test? How vivid is your imagination? Yeah, see, I don't even think I have actually. Oh, no. Fuck. Oh, no. Please be where I want it to be. No! Oh, God. Where was I? I think I was at like 315 somewhere
Oh, that should
around
again with
here.
the bean in between my hands.
Yeah. Okay, she's whispering to the bean. I have to go forward. Wait, let's see. Oh, does anyone know where I was before it reloaded? Oh shit, you can't see because of Ross's thing. Okay, wait, let's see it. Is there a dob or nor a door or anything that looks like a seal? Okay, wait, what is that? 3:16:27. Let's go. Many people can't. You answered this question when you took the ASVB.
I'm going to just take the sun.
What's the ASVAB? Oh, wait. ASVB. Air certification? What is that? What am I thinking of? I'm not thinking of the thing that you're saying. I'm thinking of an Air Force thing. Anyways. Oh, and see, these are all questions. I don't know. Military entrance exam is the ASVAB. That's right. I didn't do the ASVAB. That's Marines, though, right? I thought ASVAB was only for the Marines. I was also in ROTC, so I did not have to take the ASVAB. I had to take the AFOQT, Air Force Officer Qualifying Test. Qualifications test? Yeah. So I didn't take the ASVAB. I was like, why do I recognize that? I don't know why I do, but no, I took something different. They might have asked us something about that on there. That would have been long before I did that. All services? When you're enlisting? Or I don't think I took the ASVAB, did I? I also didn't go into actual I didn't go into actual service, to be clear. I got DOD-merved. I got medically DQ'd. So it might have been a thing that happened after when I got DQ'd. Probably in high school. I didn't do it in high school, to be fair. I was doing my stuff in college. But anyways, neither here nor there.
Stone like out of its little container and really light up the room and just illuminate the whole room now.
Is there like a doorknob or anything that looks like a
Keyhole
seal?
or a device.
Make an
or
investigation
anything?
check.
Yes.
Thank you, somebody.
18.
22.
22. Glancing about with the help of his light as well, you look and you can see, like, most of the rock is just kind of, it's jagged and broken in places, and as you kind of feel the edges, some parts flake off relatively easy. When you get to the section of where that rectangular piece of the wall is that the glyphs are put across, it looks like it's a little smoothed over, like someone, smoothed it down to make this intentional seal. But there's no sign of any sort of keyhole or a handle or anything that...
You can push it.
Let's just try being polite first. I will knock on the door.
It's heavy stone.
All right, fuck this. I'll just try and push the door toward, like, either in and to either side.
Make a strength check.
See if I can get that.
Go strong jaw, go strong jaw, go.
Go strong jaw, go strong jaw, go.
17.
You're inspired?
Oh, yeah. I'll use
Are
that
you
shit.
inspired? Is he inspired?
You get just a
That's
d12.
right.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
Oh, shit. Awesome. 26.
26.
Much better.
You jam your hands into the wall and then push. As you push and shove, your fingers are like grinding and breaking the actual stone until they feel something metal. It goes from like crumbling stone to a metallic surface. And as you kind of pull your hands back a little bit, you kind of pull away these giant chunks of volcanic stone, the actual runes and glyphs breaking around your grasp, and you can look inside and see what looks to be like hammered dark metal on the other side. You then put your hand in and shove as hard as you can, and with a very, very faint grinding, you feel it give about an inch, then another inch. And then eventually, it gives out suddenly. You watch as the entire square structure falls inward with a slamming echo sound that just
Godly
echoes
strength.
again and again down what appears to be a stairway that disappears from view about 20 feet ahead of you.
Check for traps.
You got it.
Will do.
Natural. That's not my thing.
Natural 20 doesn't mean you succeed.
Right, yeah,
necessarily.
stop it.
Does it not, Matt? Look, I'm a person that doesn't use skill crits. I don't use it. I have argued against using skill crits at length. But if you're gonna use them, use them. Now, I feel for Matt a little bit more in this case because he did not ask them to roll, which is where I think you need to be more. And this is a great reason why players should not just roll. Players need to ask to roll, or not ask to roll, but like just say they're doing something and then the DM asks for the roll. Because if you are using something like skill crits, it might put you in an awkward position. And yeah. But look, if you're going to be okay with them rolling for these sorts of things, like checking for traps, and you're going to have skill crits, you gotta follow it all the way through. Don't fucking punish Grog for his build choices when you're going to give those advantages to everyone else. Yeah, skill crits do undermine the uniqueness of build decisions. We've run into one of the flaws, kind of head first. This is why I would argue against skill crits, but if you're going to use them, you gotta use all of them. Don't be unfair. But whatever. There's a stairway leading out of this chamber. I noticed. Did you notice how it's another example of it's another example of the landmark, straight line, landmark, straight line, landmark, straight line. Right? We can't have it open straight onto another landmark. We need another random hallway to separate our chambers. Which is a little silly to me, but that's okay.
18 for me.
All right. Both of you glance throughout the initial.
What's your open eyes?
Through the initial steps into the hallway, which is now just littered with broken rock for the first 10 feet or so, where the platform, where the large rectangular metal structure that fell over it. No signs of any traps, no signs of any sort of tweaking with the floor walls for any triggers. You do notice that the metal surfaces here are a texture of rough hammered metal. You can see like the series of small indentations, like all these have been hammered into place. And the occasional, looks like the seams where these large metallic wall slabs would be have a thin little placed bar over those as well. You've gone from like central volcano, just natural emerging and expanding rock and lava, to a place of very intense intended construct.
I feel like this is it.
It is offered.
Yeah.
Would my greedy eyes know what kind of metal it is?
Make an intelligence check.
Yeah.
There's pewter everywhere.
Writing a note for myself.
Intelligence. Investigation?
It's memory foam.
Well, this would be just intelligence check, just straight model.
Oh, 10.
10?
Bed in the box.
You're not entirely certain of the metal. It is a dark, kind of dull slate gray, a little darker than that even, and elements of the edges appear to be almost red, almost like a rust or ruddy color, but you don't recognize what type of metal it is necessarily.
I'm stealthing on the steps.
I did cast Pass Without a Trace on all of us again a while ago, but I haven't
Luck for
done
that.
any.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I
natural
said it.
20.
I even marked it off after the fighting.
Okay. You roll an extra 20 on...
Yeah, using a luck.
Use luck. So you used 3 lucks there.
3 of my 4 according to your campaign guide.
The campaign guide was something that was for other people to use. as sort of an inside joke for the previous
You are my dungeon master.
more than 3 lucks.
Okay.
However, as you've embraced...
Well, that was my 3rd, not my 4th.
Yeah, that was his third.
That was my
Right,
3rd.
right. I'm saying for the purposes of the guide being released and you embracing your fate-touched nature and the extremely dutiful adherence.
Fucking who? The dutiful adherence to the law of your Raven Queen. I think maybe we're aware of a different Vax'Uldan, Matt. I mean, he hasn't been, like, directly violating a bunch of the law, but, dutiful adherence is not quite how I would describe Vax.
To the law of your Raven Queen.
Yar yar.
Sure, I'll give you a fate-touched additional 4th luck.
Oh, he's throwing you a bone.
Wow.
Wow.
She said I have 7 lucks.
He
She
doesn't
didn't
have
say it.
enough
You know why?
bonuses.
Because-
He likes you.
Because he knows that Liam bought the book.
I did buy the book.
I bought the book too. I bought the book too. What do I get?
You get an awesome angel dick.
1-inch cube suddenly grows.
Angel Wang.
I'm gonna,
2 inches.
Angel Wang, by the way, is a good band name.
Angel Wang.
All right.
Speaks all languages.
I'm gonna fly over to Vex and just wordlessly say to her, "Be honest. Do you think I'm more handsome like this or as normal Scanlan?"
Be honest.
I'm gonna think in my head, Scanlan's the best.
Be aware that as a divine being, I can sense any lie. Oh no!
Scanlan, darling. I mean, you're fucking hot right now, alright? But I love you like you were. You're always my favorite when, you're just yourself.
All right. Thank you. I'll turn my little naked butt to her.
So this hallway that you guys have pushed through now, it's about 20 feet wide, 30 feet tall, and these long ceiling gradually curves to an apex point, almost like 2 adjoining sides of a roof. And it just continues to progress forward and then descends with the staircase.
Are the walls hot to the touch since they're metal?
You put your hand out and feel it, and yes, they are. The wall, like it's not like, but your hand can rest for a few seconds before you have to remove it. They're very hot.
Hot beach.
We progress forward into the room, down the stairs, wherever the stairs lead.
All right.
And you know what? I think if you do want this sort of straight line so that you are, having to think about your dungeon a little bit less and use that thought in other places, I would opt for treating it a lot like Matt treated the walk through Pelor's cathedral, right? Matt, in that case, just didn't want them to explore, which is fair. But, he would do his running monologue, and then he would occasionally kind of drop out to allow them any sort of little things like that. And it could have even been something like what Grog just did, of like, I reach out and touch the wall. Are they hot? It is. But then immediately, I think, pick back up with the narration as they progress forward. Like you did with the Palor Fortress Cathedral, whatever that was, his divine fortress. It instead of stopping and being like, well, what do you do? It's like, well, fucking, if the answer is what else are they gonna do? You probably shouldn't be asking, what do you do?
So, you leading?
Yeah, I'm like 60 feet ahead with my 47 stealth right now.
Right, okay. So as you begin, first thing you notice, the steps, they're long steps.
Okay.
They are about 3 feet wide each step.
God-sized.
So you're having like step, 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 leap down a few feet, continue again, leap down a few feet. And each of you are doing this. Who here does not have magic boots?
Me.
I mean, I just part of my armor. If that's not boots, then it's probably just the front guards, huh?
What do you want my boots for?
Yeah.
I don't.
You're fine, you're fine.
I'm thinking about that as a environmental challenging path. I'm assuming the floor is hot, and that if they don't have magic boots, it's gonna hurt. I don't mind it in theory. In practice, I have an aversion towards... How do I say it? I have an aversion towards that sort of test, especially when we have resistances and immunities as an existing thing. I have and we have things like, explicit, like, I can walk on water, and I'm betting that there's, like, specific boots or armor that let you survive lava. Like, when there are explicit things that address this within their softer nature, I have a bias against just being like, do you have magic boots of any kind? I'm not as gut against it as something like non-magical immunity. I really don't like non-magical immunity unless there, was more commonly magical immunity. But I'm not a huge fan of that. But this one is like, it's in a similar thought ballpark, I guess, a similar thought area as to why we already have things like damage types. Like, I'd rather just lean more into damage types. So, the floor just does fire damage, and if you have resistance to fire damage, then great, there we go. We've used an existing mechanical system that is, pretty poised for this sort of thing. But I don't think that this should be, like, off the table, to do. I think I just so rarely have that many magical items that that it would, like, make any sense for me to be like, the people among you that have magical boots. Like, I give probably 1 pair of magic boots the entire campaign, if I had to guess. At my past campaigns, I'm not just, like, handing out magic boots to every single party member. So it would almost be like a non-question in the context of a lot of my campaigns. But, in a Matt campaign where he's handing out a lot more magical items, where he's already sort of addressed and worked in the durability of said items with the disenchanting and dissolvement, with the magic carpet getting fucked up. He already has sort of partially addressed the idea of the durability of magic items. That is an established thing within his world. It just... I don't know. Something about it doesn't sit right with me, but I think there's a really large chance that that is bias I'm bringing in and not, like, real logical rationale for why to be, like, against this decision. I think it's mostly rooted in my own biases. But I'm going to keep thinking on it because I'm not sure if it totally is.
I've got my broom that I just said I was on.
Correct, so you're fine. You, as you're walking, the ground is very hot.
Yeah.
And you can continue to move your feet in a way where it's not too bad, but you get the sense if you were wearing normal boots and not the usual, like, Ashari-made leather setup that you work on, they would probably be melting across the metal floor here.
What? The Ashari make really good boots? Like, are her boots magic in any way? Here does not have magic boots me. So now this feels like Matt's just pulling his punch to me of being like, the Ashari make really good boots at the level of... If we're going to have that be the thing, if it's going to be like non-magical boots, you know, are going to melt or whatever, going to take damage, like actually follow through on it. This feels like Marisha was the only one that didn't. He didn't check that ahead of time or he didn't think about it ahead of time. And now he's like, oh shit, well, and now he's like, well, they're really well crafted. It's like, okay. I didn't love the idea in the first place, but pulling the punch is, how do I say it? I think you should avoid clearly pulling punches if at all possible. If at all possible, I think you should avoid clearly pulling a punch. If you can pull a punch in a way where, like, you don't think the players will notice, maybe it's a risk to take. But despite the fact that my gut and probably my biases weren't super happy with this idea as, like, an obstacle or a challenging path, I think you should really avoid pulling the punch like this. Seems like it was going for worse, but it's only going to affect Vex, so he backed off. It's only going to affect Keyleth. But they're elemental maybe, so their clothing is slightly more resistant to fire. I don't care. It's not a magic item. It's the question that is getting into my mindset of, oh, is it resistant to fire? Like using a damage type to actually think about this. But that's not what Matt was doing. Matt asked, are they magic boots? And it's like, if the answer's no, you need to deliver on that punishment because you've already made it pretty clear what was going to happen. If you don't do it now, you're clearly pulling the punch. And I don't think he's pulling the punch just because it's Marisha. I think he's pulling the punch because he didn't realize it was only one player that would get affected. But, you know, he had the chance to figure that out ahead of time. I don't know.
I mean, I just part of my armor. If that's not boots, then it's probably just the front guards, huh?
What do you want my boots for?
Yeah.
I don't.
You're fine, you're fine.
But I've got my broom that I just said I was on.
Correct, so you're fine. You, as you're walking, the ground is very hot. And you can continue to move your feet in a way where it's not too bad, but you get the sense if you were wearing normal boots and not the usual, like, Ashari-made leather setup that you work on, they would probably be melting across the metal floor here.
Arizona blacked out in the middle of August.
You want to hop up on his broom?
Oh, I do big strides. Big strides.
All right. It looks awkward, but
Does
you
it?
know, stay there if you want.
I try to look more normal while still taking big strides.
It's not working.
Good job.
No?
All right, so the steps, I mean, the air itself now smells of very caustic fumes mixed with the smell of burning coal. But there is oxygen now in this chamber. You can breathe. There's enough air to, like, actually get a lungful here and there, though it is still thin. And there is still the toxic fume here that had you not had the Hero's Feast, you'd be having a rough time. But you're not having to constantly dip into the jug anymore.
Did one of y'all growl just now?
It's just the sound.
That was you?
That was me.
Or did it come out of the speaker?
You don't know.
That shit scared me. That shit was too loud from a weird direction. I got a haunted house for a second. I was like...
I cannot wait to get to Halloween Horror Nights with you again. Oh, you're
Williams, fatal flaw.
Hey, man, I'm quick as hell.
You are quick. That's why we leave you 10 feet ahead of us.
Oh, man.
They're the best jump scare.
One of these days, you're going to break someone's nose.
Yeah.
I know.
It's going to be great.
It's going to be glorious. Anyway, as you descend the staircase, you ahead. Make a perception check.
You lose your pillow die. Hey, that's good. Perception, you say?
Yeah.
27.
27, okay.
Perception.
You continue down for about 2 minutes or so, and even glancing ahead to the edge of your visual range here in the darkness, because there is no light source below at this point. The stairs are continuing, and you have no idea how long it'll go for. But you begin to sense as you're walking, you hear this faint, kind of rhythmic, bassy rumble of a low, nearly inaudible drum-like beat, deeper than any sound you've heard, just quaking the ground ever so faintly. And you just can very faintly feel it. You kind of get down and like move your fingers to the ground, and for the moments before the heat gets there, the next time you hear it, you can feel a very faint vibration, only because you were very perceptive at the moment.
Is it exactly rhythmic and precise?
I'd say with your high perception check, you can tell that yes, it is precisely rhythmic.
I think there's some sort of god-sized machinery ahead of us. I think we're getting close.
Did you lose your earring because you're an angel now?
No, he keeps all the stuff.
No, it
He
gets
keeps the
absorbed.
equipment, but he can't hear
I
it.
don't have the earring, but I can talk to you telepathically. In any language. How about Italian, darling?
Oh. Ninth
Stop
level.
being creepy, Scandal.
I sense my hour is coming to an end soon.
You guys are about 20 minutes out, both you and Grog, before you lose your forms.
Do you know binary?
Technically.
01010101.
Speaking Morse code.
Another 10, 15 minutes of descending these stairs that seem to go on and on and on.
Everybody hears it.
And you guys are starting to hear this. But it is getting steadily louder the further down you climb, Vax. You begin to see along the metallic walls occasionally shapes in the metal. And you glance over Vax and look, and you can see carved from the metal, looks to be like humanoid armored warriors, standing about 10 or so feet tall, larger than normal. Their poses vary. Some of them are like on the side, some of them are attacking, some of them are just defending. There's about every 25 or 30 feet or so, there'll be one on one side or the other.
Are they standing free or are they carved from the wall?
No, they're like from the wall.
They're drawings, or they're like they look like
They're reliefs. They're like
Okay.
you know, metallic reliefs in the wall.
That's a metal Medusa that turned them into metal.
Made of the same metal, it looks like, as the walls.
I'm going to quickly inspect one.
Make an investigation check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just rolling terribly.
It's like some
9.
shit, but
9.
I want to look at them too. I mean, I would totally. I want to fly up on my.
Okay.
I was gonna say it, and then he said it.
There's definitely golems that will come out and fight us.
Investigation.
Yes.
22.
22. Glancing around the seams, these appear to be like, just reliefs in the wall. There is no like deeper seam in there. The proportions are flattened. They are designs in the wall.
Okay.
but it's
Does the style indicate anything? Or?
The craftsmanship is extraordinary. The detail, like the you can only because you roll so high.
There is a really interesting thing here that I wouldn't have thought of. And, you know, maybe I'm this is possibly me looking too far into it. But I think there's a little something going on here with them being interested in these like reliefs on the wall. You know, this feels like the thing that maybe they would have been interested in, maybe they wouldn't have been, you know, I could see it going either way. But I would bet that there is at least some effect of the danger foreshadowing happening, and then directly following the danger foreshadowing are these reliefs, right? And I think that the players all know that these reliefs are not, you know, causing the danger that was foreshadowed, but they're on heightened alert, and the first thing that they see after they've been put on this heightened alert, I think they are investigating more than they normally would. Like, I think that they're probably going to move on pretty soon. At least I think. But it makes me wonder if they had gotten these carvings or these reliefs in the metal right at the beginning, before they heard the would they have looked at it nearly as hard? My guess would be no. My guess would be that they are looking at it and examining it harder because it's the first thing after the foreshadowing. I could be wrong there, but I think that would be my theory.
Like you can tell that these are just reliefs in the wall, but up until that point, it looks like the detail in the nooks and crannies are so microscopic. You can see texture on the skin almost, like pores carved in. It's immaculate. It's artistic.
Matt has used the mask that I had such a fucking that I analyzed for like 20 minutes in the Ziggurat dungeon in Marquette. So he's definitely used that. I'd never got the sense, especially with like the way that like Matt acted out, I never got the sense that these were statues. But you know, clearly differing visions in our head of what these even are. I wouldn't be worried about like a relief coming to attack, but that is kind of like part of my, I suppose, like analytical theory of this is that like when they were in doubt, when they also, we have ads in a minute, when I don't think you guys could hear that. I think only I could hear that. Anyways, in Jamon's castle, I think. No, in Jamon's castle there was a construct, but I think it just came out of the ceiling. Either way, doesn't matter. But you know, these were not described as statues, and I know that they aren't statues because he re-described them. Secondly, I understand how there could be a miscommunication there, but I do think that the foreshadowing of the boom, boom, boom right before put them more in that mindset of, if there's a debate in my head, right, about like what this is or what could be going on here, I'm assuming more potential danger than there might otherwise be. Even if you asked any of them, I'm sure that they would say that it is very unlikely that any of these individual things are causing... Oh, okay. So going to the next scene worked, but turning on the music did not work because I still haven't re-downloaded VLC. I can't believe I forgot that. I need to write it down. Okay. Resources. But I will put on some audio and I'm going to go to the bathroom before I do that. Boom. Right. See you guys in a second. Oh God, everything used to be so automagic. I need to write that down. Download VLC again. Download VLC again. So brakes work. Works. There we go. Okay, we're learning things on this stream. We're learning things, and I have gone pee. So let's get back to it.
The level of detail put into these.
Beautiful. Grog, do you trust this?
To what are you pointing?
The reliefs, the people in the wall? Okay. You know, it was a hypothetical question.
What? Like, do I trust the art?
I'm just to be safe, and I cast freedom of movement on Grog,
Okay.
just in case.
I think we should stay
I start
pretty
popping and
stealthy.
locking.
So loose, so free, so much movement.
So that lasts for an hour. Great.
I'm gonna be stealthy. I don't want to be noisy.
Always so.
Okay, roll stealth, please.
32.
Okay. So what is the marching order here, please?
I don't actually mind taking the lead on this one.
All right.
Okay.
We have 5 minutes left or less?
You're pushing about 10 minutes or so at this
Okay.
point.
I think 5 to 10 minutes, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said 15.
I just love walking on the wall.
I could just stay like this forever.
So I'll be in the middle of the group walking the wall.
So beautiful.
You look over and Scound's just going,
Everything's so symmetrical.
I'm actually I'm gonna hang back.
Okay, so Vax a little behind. It's Percy and Grog up front.
I'm gonna go up behind Percy.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be with Vex.
Alrighty.
I will fly up next to Grog and put my healing touch hand on his shoulder and heal him a lot. 31.
awesome.
You heal 31 hit points, Grog?
Oh, plus 3. 34.
There you go.
And you're also freed from any curse, disease, or blindness that you have.
Wow.
Just FYI.
I'm also gonna dump 20 hit points of lay on hands on my own damn self.
Alrighty.
Wait, is that like ding to your saving throws considered a curse?
It is a curse that can only be broken by a god. It's
If he
specific.
fucking brings it up to a god.
If only we'd met.
He doesn't even realize he has it.
I tried to talk to Paylor, but people are like, no, don't talk to Paylor.
What are you fucking talking about?
What are you talking about?
So, Grog continuing the charge forward, taking the steps. Eventually, you begin to see a source of sunlight, faint orangish red light. Your initial instinct, based on your previous travels through here, is molten rock. It's a very similar orangish red color from this distance. As you descend, step upon heavy step upon heavy step, you watch as you can see what appears to be a square orange opening below, as in the hallway, the kind of pointed hallway that leads you down comes to an end and the stairs descend into a chamber.
I'll go in.
Would Trinket's little feet hurt? Be hurt if he was on the ground?
Do you want to put Trinket on your nickel?
Well, I figure I would have tried to put him out when we got in the tunnel, but if his feet were hurting, I would have put him back in
I'd say Trinket's not comfortable. Yeah.
there. Okay, I'll keep him in there.
Okay. So, as you descend, Grog, the staircase continues below as the hallway comes to an end, and you find yourself descending into the center of a massive hexagonal chamber. The walls climb about 25 feet on each side of the hexagonal size. There's one flat wall ahead of you, and you assume probably one behind that you cannot see it from your current perspective on the staircase. You can see that the walls are still made from the long plates of intricate hammered metal, black and red tinted with dust and rock and whatever other materials were forged into the actual metal. The support girders of dark red metal marks the seam of every wall plate, like when you first enter the hallway above. Centered to the chamber ahead of you, across the wall that you see there, there is a glowing pit of heated coals about 15 feet on any side that marks the floor before a giant metal wall with two X-shaped crossbeams that hit the corners of where that wall begins on each side. And in the center, where they meet, you see a raised relief of what looks to be solid gold, bolted there. That surrounds an opening of some kind. So there's a space in that golden relief.
What's the floor look like from here to there? Are they the same surface?
Same metallic surface.
Any seams? Which is smooth?
No, for the floor in here, it would be fairly smooth.
How high off the ground is that relief?
It's 25 feet to the ceiling, and it's halfway down, so it's about 12 and a half feet in the center.
Okay.
So it's from the ground, you'd have to get up to see it.
Okay.
I'll move closer towards that.
Okay. You walk up, you come to the very bottom of the last step, leap onto the ground, walk forward to the edge of where the coals are, there at the base of your feet. And you glance up and you can see, make a perception check.
Hold on. 17.
Whoa.
All right, you glance up and you can see the relief of solid gold. The opening in it is triangle shaped, roughly 1 foot across from point to point, like that. It comes into a triangular point. And it's about that size. It's about a foot, and then a foot, and then a foot.
I think you're supposed to stick your hand in it, Grog.
Is the golden relief? It's just the triangle shape, right? There's
Yeah,
nothing else around it?
it's almost like a weird, kind of a rough circle, and the triangle is carved into the center of it. The two walls, immediately to the right and left of that, kind of where the hexagonal kind of pulls back to each side, you see two more of those metal warrior reliefs that you saw earlier in the hallway.
The coals are in a circle around.
The coals are in like a square section, a 15 by 15 foot section of the floor in front of you that leads right up to the wall with the giant X meeting seams in the relief.
I mean, might up to Tony Robbins' shit, right?
Does it look like anything supposed to go in the triangle? Does it look like a keyhole?
It looks like a gold relief that has a triangular hole in it. That's all you can see.
Does it? I mean, can we see how deep the hole goes?
You have to get closer to it.
I want to get close to it on my broom and look at it.
All right, you fly up above the coals, and the heat emanating from the coals below you is extremely hot. You can see it kind of warping the air above it. So you can have to kind of protect yourself a bit and squint the eyes, and you swear you can smell the scent of burning hair. You get up close, and you can see the relief. Perhaps some sort of triangular pyramid-like shape would slip into it. It looks like all the corners eventually converge to a point on the interior of it.
Okay. All right, I'll back up so that I'm not in the fumes.
Is there anything else in the room besides the two reliefs on either side that we can see? Tools?
Do you guys want to walk around the back of the staircase? As you guys move around the back of the staircase, the wall on the opposite side of that relief contains a third armored warrior relief embedded in the wall. You can see there are 4 pillars right along the side of where the staircase descends that contain bolted-in large braziers that contain ever-burning flames, just flicker and give that orangish red glow similar to the coals that you saw embedded in the ground as you arrived. And then on the back side of the staircase and the column that held it aloft, you see what looks to be, you recognize it immediately, Grog, strangely, because while you've not cared or understood what these things are before, you suddenly know what it is. You see what...
Wait. There's a thing behind the staircase? You guys walk around the back of the staircase. Okay, so the staircase is letting them off in like the middle of the room? Or like a quarter ways into the room? And there's an area of the room behind the staircase? Okay.
In the column that held it aloft, you see what looks to be, you recognize it immediately, Grog, strangely, because while you've not cared or understood what these things are before, you suddenly know what it is. You see what looks to be a large metal, looks like a well almost, but there is a furnace built into it, and a number of tools that are hanging to the side, small like tongs and heavy leather gauntlets. This is a smelter.
Oh, that's a way to smelt the platinum. Do we see anything around the room that looks like it could fit in that pyramid shape? I mean,
I'm going to cast, again, Detect Good and Evil and just do a swoop around and see if I sense any creatures or magically consecrated objects.
Okay. You swoop around the room, you detect no evil. You detect magically consecrated objects.
Okay.
And at that point, the spell is about to fade or become permanent.
Big choice, big choice.
You mean like you'll stay like that forever? You can't undo it?
You're not in his mind.
Yes, my child. I will drop the spell.
Okay, and with that, a smaller Scanlan form appears, the planetary angelic form vanishing, and he drops about 4 feet and lands on his feet on the ground.
I feel my back covered in hair. I'm back.
A moment later, Grog, your form drops as well, and you revert back to normal Grog size. Still massive.
So much more handsome.
So we're supposed to smelt the platinum, right?
Yeah.
Melt it down. And then we use our magic beans to make the prime trembles.
Yeah, but we don't
Do
see
I understand how this
emblem
triangle
yet.
works? Is this part of the...
This triangle does not at all resemble any of the designs that you had imbued upon you.
I'm going to hop up to take a better look at it.
Okay, I'm just gonna say what I think is going on here. And then we'll see what's actually going on. My impression is probably that he needs to smelt/forge the platinum into like the generally correct shape, and then at the smelter, then possibly heat it up in the coals in the middle, or the coals in the middle are just a battle arena set piece. And then he needs to go up to the relief, stick the seed in there, then stick the still hot platinum in there, go bing, 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 it combines inside the golden relief. That's what actually makes it into a trammel, and it like forms it into the right shape, and then you take it out and you got it. That's what I'm going to assume is going on here, based on what we've got. Because what we've got so far are the warrior reliefs, the ever-burning flames inside of braziers on columns, the coal pit in the middle, and then the relief on the corner. And the relief on the corner is like 12 feet up, which the stairs were really big, so it seems like it's probably just for very big things. That's probably like just hanging it at a normal height on the wall. Yeah. I mean, it seems straightforward to me. We will see if those warrior reliefs jump off the wall at them.
As well.
Okay.
That
So
would
you walk up the side and look into it. You can see it's a triangle,
Random.
and then pushing inward, all the points converge on the inside, where it would fit a pyramid structure, about 1 foot on each side, corner to corner.
And then the point at which they connect is at about a quarter size, would you say?
The point where it connects, it goes to a complete point.
Complete point, okay.
And that relief is in the middle of 2 cross beams?
Yes.
So you couldn't, like, push the cross beams over and lay it down?
Well, the cross beams are bolted to the actual wall.
Okay.
So, yeah.
It's not something we have to lay flat.
Did you say there were 2 metal warriors?
There were 2 metal warriors, the right and left, and then one on the back wall.
And are they separated from where we are by hot coals, or
The only hot coals are the ones that reside directly beneath the relief.
Okay, so I'm going to check one of those out.
beneath.
Okay, make an
See if
investigation
it's any different than what we passed on.
And you said there were 3 warriors?
Yes.
And we can get to the smelter right now, or it's beyond the cross beams?
So you can get the smelter is on the other side of the room,
Leather
behind the
gauntlets,
staircase.
tools, the actual...
All the shit we need?
Yeah. So
24.
24. You approach and look up into the warrior. You can see the 3 of them are all in the same stance. They're all standing square. They all are clutching a long great sword in one hand. The other appears to be just open to either receive something or hold aloft something that's not there, and they're all facing forward.
Shooting my wings out as I walk up to it.
Okay, your wings arc outward. Looking ahead, you can too see the armored helmet that adorns its head that kind of normally would pinch her to where the nose is, and you can see the pores of the face. The helmet just comes to, it's just one big domed curve on top, and where a face would be, there is no face. There's just the outside of the head and what appears to be a similar triangle gap in the face that's smaller than the one in the relief. You glance over quickly to the other warrior and the third, and all 3 of them are faceless, instead having an empty triangle that disappears into
Goes
the face.
inward just like the big one.
Yes, but they're smaller.
Okay.
While he does that, I stand in the middle. Are the 3 warriors?
Okay. We know that they originally made 4 trammels to combat the Chained Oblivion, or to chain the Chained Oblivion. But why do they all need their own little... Why do they need 4 to make 4? Do you have to make them all at once for some reason? All right, I maybe I don't know what's going on here.
Warriors triangulated? Like if you were to draw out a triangle between them?
Within in the hexagonal room, yes, they would be.
In the same shape?
It seems to be. Close enough, at least, based on the construction of the room, the chamber.
What do the reliefs have in their hands? Weapons?
Yes.
2 of the 3.
Swords?
But
Three of them.
one-
3 of them all, no, they're all great swords, but they're also part of the relief embedded in the wall.
Okay.
And one open hand.
In one open hand. Like one hand is holding it, it's kind of embedded in the wall, and the other one is just open to the side. But the relief is all embedded in the wall, and you can see the triangular opening. The only thing that darts inward is that vacuous shape in the face.
Details make us very nervous.
Yeah.
That's why Fox Machina dies, because I can't figure out.
We can't figure out how the triangle works.
We just sit down like, fine.
Is there a triangle on the?
man.
Is there anything on the floor? Any patterns on the floor?
Make an investigation check.
Smelter, is it active right now? Is it hot? Is it?
Yeah, I mean, the coals are cooking and there's a...
You know what also I didn't think about that Matt has not clarified since they got here? But what's going on with the thumping? What's going on with the thumping? He hasn't mentioned it since they got here.
The smelter it's low, but it's burning.
What if we have to make something triangular?
Yeah, to fit in those things.
Did you?
13.
But we don't have an
13?
Not good at this.
Doesn't appear to be any. The floor is
Don't have an
pretty
angle?
No, the
solid.
anvil isn't
There's
visible.
no real detail that catches your attention.
Let's stop smelting.
Yeah, might as well.
All right, what do
What
we
if we
smell?
take those
The
beams
platinum.
and put them in
We
the
have enough?
little triangle holes? I don't know.
Or in their
Or in their
hands.
hands?
Well, the hands are like
In
the
wall.
statues are in the wall, and you can just see the outer shape just barely protruding from the wall.
do we
So it'd
have
be hard to
enough
place something in the hand.
Yeah. We switched it out, all the gold for platinum.
Okay.
So, in Vasselheim.
Yeah. So let's stop the smelter at the very least.
Okay, so the bellows are there. They're big old heavy bellows, and Grog, you know exactly what to do. It's a really strange phenomenon to be like, I've never done this, but it's second nature, and you just begin to get that forge to well and burn, and brightly you can see the flames and the coals heat up from dull red to a bright orange to a white at times. And as it heats up, you have the the tongs, but what to smelt in?
Yeah.
But what to smelt in?
Can I walk around to the? I'm gonna walk across.
So
like a mold.
you get the sense here that smelting is the heating and liquefying of metals.
Okay, I was like, Matt, you gotta be more specific about like, what do you melt in. It's like Travis has all of the information, Grog has all the information. Travis doesn't. You gotta hold our hand a little bit here.
One, to remove impurities, and two, to then pour into a mold in which, when it cools, the metal makes a shape.
What if can I fly up to the circle on the wall on the crossbeams? Does it come off?
You reach out and you touch the gold relief. It's built into the wall.
Oh.
But it's like a smooth, shiny, polished gold, but it's not moving at all.
We can't find anything that makes a triangle shape, pyramid shape
Except for
in the
that.
room.
That just means the
The
crossbeams
faces
have
of
to go.
the faces of the statuary. So maybe we should prod that. We might as well start prodding things. Just nothing's gonna happen if we don't prod them. I'm going to crawl up to one of the statuary.
I mean, good point, Percival. Taliesin, I should say. Taliesin is like, let's start smelting things. Let's start poking things. I'm surprised no one has asked about the thumping, but, assuming that they all forgot the thumping, because it also seems that Matt forgot the thumping, these are fair questions to ask.
Soldiers
Or
and
not fair questions to ask, just fair things to do, I should say.
see if the helmet comes off or if the face is removable. Or
Okay.
I'm gonna start tinkering.
You reach up and kind of like grab the side and kind of feel the side of the face and kind of reach into the inside of the gap in the triangular void, if you
It's
will.
gonna go click, isn't it?
No, I mean, the finger slide in, it does come to a vanishing point. I mean, it comes to a point like the large relief, but it's once you look inside and get a little bit of a glance with a little bit of light that's in there, the shape on the inside of it is different. It's imperfect and messed up. It's hard to see what it is, but like it's not a perfect triangle like the rest. Also, immediately you guys see there's a flash of orange light that completely surrounds the exterior of the warrior. And the two of the warriors, their entire outer line glows a bright orange. And with that, you instinctually step back.
I step up.
Or step up as all three of them step out of the wall. Unlike the ones you saw previously that were pressed in and relieved, these have a little more dimension to them, and a majority of their physical form was embedded backwards into the wall. They all of a sudden come storming outward, giant greatswords swinging in front of them as they all immediately, the heads.
I mean, okay. I was wondering if this would happen, because I kind of saw it coming. Like, the entire time he's calling these reliefs, which are like carvings, right? They don't have like that type of dimensionality to them. And then at one point, someone was asking a question about them, and he said the statues, most of them are embedded within the wall, so you only see like the outline. And I was like, oh. Are these statues or are they reliefs? Which one are these? Turns out they are statues just hidden to look like reliefs. Although reliefs don't really look like statues. Even if you were to embed a statue within the wall, it wouldn't look like a relief. It would just look different. I don't know, man. That's I think Matt was maybe purposefully misleading the players more than the characters would have been misled. You know what I'm saying? A sculpted wall and a relief are different things. That's what I'm kind of saying. It's like, it feels like Matt's just like using, like, he seems to, especially when they're asking about it in the exterior hall, he's like, no, these are reliefs. They're not statues. So like, he seems to be very clearly aware of the difference and like what difference the two words imply. But to talk about these like reliefs, I don't know. To me, feels like he's actively trying to trick or mislead the players, even when there's kind of nothing else to do in the area. So I don't know. It's not really surprising that the Forge of a God might have just some defenses. I'm not complaining about having defenses. I'm complaining about the way that Matt is describing said defenses.
creepily with the open triangular void of where a face would be spin to one of the nearby individuals in their space.
Ooh,
And
maybe we have to kill them and then smelt into their faces.
I'm into it. I like
Don't
this plan.
destroy their faces.
that's where we'll pick up next time. Because it is almost 11 o'clock.
Face the army of the faces.
Yeah. I mean, if they went into another combat, we'd be here until like fucking 5 o'clock. Kind of cringe, TVH. I don't know. I think that there was a lot to manage. Like the fact that like the example maybe. The fact that he didn't mention the thrumming or rhythmic, thumping that he described earlier once they got down here. Like the fact that there was no change in that, no reminder of that, I don't think is even him trying to like purposefully mislead or whatever. But I think there's just a lot going on and he's forgetting about things. So like, I think he kind of gave up the ghost. Like the moment that he said most of them are embedded in the wall, I was like, oh, those are secret statues. But it would feel unfair to use what was almost certainly a bit of a flub to make in fiction decisions, right? That's like metagaming. But I also think that Matt calling them things that they just aren't and would not look like is also kind of metagaming, just in the opposite direction. Like, I don't know. But I don't know what they're even supposed to really do here other than just like craft them in the main relief. So it's hard for me to say how much it matters. But it all just seems very disconnected, kind of a little weird, a little wobbly, not a lot of imprecision that's making it kind of hard to track, I think. But I don't know. A relief to me is like 10 centimeters deep, maybe 30 centimeters if the area is like really big. I mean, yeah, it's a carving, right? It's not like a 3-dimensional object. Upon visual inspection from one point of view, 3D objects can appear 2D. Sure, they can. But there's like a difference between a carving on a wall and just like what that looks like visually. Not even if it's 3D or 2D. It just looks different than if you were to have a statue, embed it in a little like alcove in the wall, and then fill up that alcove until like only part of them is visible. That would just still look drastically different than a carving. You know what I'm saying? So continuing to call them reliefs when you called the previous things reliefs, I do think is a bit misleading. But I don't even know if Matt was like trying to be misleading there. Like I think it was, but I don't know that it was intended to be. I don't know. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. Yeah. This D&D, every statue is either a Medusa victim or a surprise construct. Well, maybe that's why you wouldn't want to describe them as a statue, right? Like if I'm taking the like conspiracy brained approach here of like everything is purposeful, nothing's an accident, Matt never forgets about anything. Which is not generally the perspective that I have, but if I were to take that perspective that everything is purposeful and he doesn't forget anything, then yeah, this sentiment is maybe why you wouldn't describe them as a statue, even if they were, you know? So I don't know. It feels, yeah, I don't know. If you don't know the exact definition of relief, it's easy to conflate. I don't even think I know the exact definition of a relief, but yeah, I guess I am just inserting carving or like etching in the wall And like a 3-dimensional statue just looks visually different than that. Right? Like I don't like I'm trying to think of like what relief means if it could include a 3-dimensional statue. Like if you were to conflate the two, if it could include a statue that is like walled in like that. I'm trying to think of like how that would, like what relief would even mean at that point. Would it just mean like an image carved in a wall? And this just is a really weird looking one? But I guess even at that point, if we are still operating under that, then like I think it should have been highlighted that they look a little weird. Like they don't look like a normal carving, because they wouldn't. You know? I don't know. Isn't a relief any carved surface that comes out of the wall? I thought it would be embedded in the wall. I was not aware that reliefs came out of the wall, but maybe I'm wrong. Relief is 3-dimensional because it has depth, but like half buried in the wall, not freestanding. Yeah, I guess. A relief sculpture is a 3-dimensional art form where figures or designs remain attached to a solid, flat background plane, raising them above the surface. Huh. Yeah, I guess. I guess maybe it would be harder to tell the difference than I think. It feels like it would be an obvious distinction, but maybe not. Maybe not. Entire walls that include painted parts with realistic shading on a flatbed and painted statues or even painted reliefs. You can tell if you look closely. It's very easy to see the difference in person. I guess that, like I said, I'm not even like thinking about the exact definition of relief because clearly I don't know it. But it feels like the difference between those two things would be pretty, I don't know. It would be pretty clear. But maybe not. Maybe not. I don't know. That there's basically the stone around the relief is carved away rather than the shape carved into the stone, which is etching. Okay. That's pretty in line with what I was imagining. But yeah, I don't know. Oh wait, we have to watch the rest of it. We have to watch the rest of it. Let's see. Where is it? 5105. Post-session cool.
I see with Santi.
They're about 10, 12 feet tall.
Made out of metal, and they're made out of metal.
They're made out of the same metal material looks like the walls.
They're golems.
Golems.
Constructs of some kind.
Those cross beams, do they look like they're structurally integral to the room?
No, they're bolted against the far wall, and it looks more ornamental, or at least there are seams against that back wall to hold relief there, or at least that's where the relief is placed. You get the sense, without more inspection, you get a better feel, but it doesn't look like immediately it's flashing. It's integral to the design.
Okay.
So, we'll pick up right at the beginning of those large metallic creatures emerging from the wall.
Okay. Oh wait, no, 51.
And the ensuing conflict next week. In the meantime, thank you guys so much for joining us on this next crazy step of our adventure. We'll pick up.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, man.
Still another hour.
How do you want to do this on your birthday?
Yes, thank you, Puzzle Quest, Smash the Alien Edition, for being our fantastic sponsor. Thank you guys for watching. We'll pick up next week, and then after that is Gen Con.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Oh, my God.
So after next week is Gen Con, so start getting that ready.
Oh, shit. Oh, my God. We're going right into it.
Yep. 2 weeks. All right. Have a good night, guys. Rest well. Thank you for coming in.
All right. That's that. Is it Thursday yet? Yeah, man. I don't know. That was... I think I just don't like Matt's current dungeon design style, I suppose. And even within that style, I think there are a lot of things that could be done to lend the actual play more towards those styles. But if I'm being entirely honest, I think the just like walk in a straight line until you run into something and then you just run into it, and there's like, even in this room, I am curious to know if they could have forged it without activating the things on the walls, or if they just would have activated no matter what. Like, I don't think that's an answer we'll get. Like, did the actual like messing with them actually have an impact? Or is that just a good excuse for when to activate them? I don't know. But this just general setup of encounter a thing, walk, 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 encounter a thing, walk, 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 walk. Like, no decision making, no choices really, is it's fine. It's fine. I think it's been done better or worse on occasion, but it seems like Matt is like really firmly embedded in choice as challenge, where it's like if they have to make a choice, that is increasing the challenge of everything, even if that choice is potentially on a way to mitigate challenge or to pick their own challenge, right? Like, the only challenge or the only choice I can think of in a Matt dungeon is, funnily enough, in the Underdark, but that is kind of a non-factor. And then inside of the Hell's Dungeon. But in the Hell's Dungeon, there were multiple times where they could have made a choice that was not the correct one, right? Like, they could have gone the wrong way, but they had instructions and they had a map that they, or not a map, but they had a set of instructions, directions that they needed to follow. And so that's what I mean by choice as challenge, right? Matt set up the Hell's Dungeon in such a way that for them to do it best, like for them to do it the best way, there actually weren't any choices to make. Every choice was a test to see if they were following the directions correctly, right? Beyond that, we have like Sphinx Mountain with Kamalja Ori, straight line. We have Viscon, straight line. I'm trying to think of other dungeons, really. Not a lot of dungeons in Matt's D&D game. There doesn't have to be. But yeah, now we have this one where it's the Ziggurat in Marquette, also a straight line. There were, in that case, 3-ish entrances, it seems. So there is that. There was a choice there. But, you know, it was one choice. And we kind of have to extend the dungeon back. We have to, like, include all of the segment outside of the mountain in order to, like, get those to be a choice within the dungeon. And don't get me wrong, I think that having multiple entrances to a dungeon is good and cool. But I don't know. The design philosophy does not interest me super heavily. I really liked the map. You know, if every one of his maps was that detailed, I would adore it. But like, that map was way more interesting than I think the map that we're about to get was. Like way more interesting. We'll see. Maybe this room is actually way cooler than I think it is, but it doesn't seem super cool right now. So it's like I don't blame Matt for having like a resource suck combat before this, right? I think that's like solid dungeon design, is to have like a little miniature combat that goes really quickly, that sucks out resources. But having the more interesting map on that one that's supposed to go fast is, maybe not the choice I would make. But I don't know. It's a lot of little things. It's also like, I don't dislike Theater of the Mind, like running in Theater of the Mind. But I think that this specific episode of Theater of the Mind was consistently confusing. Things were getting dropped and brought back up pretty consistently. Or just dropped and never brought back up. Or there was, confusion or miscommunication that was needed. Matt would ask them to do something that didn't actually matter, like mentioning that Grog, couldn't get down the shaft, even though then Laura's just like, okay, well, I go back and get him with the broom. It's a lot of little things that were really piling up this episode for me. And even though I liked some individual things, like the map, it was a pretty underwhelming dungeon to me otherwise. And the map was very underwhelming to me in how it was used, because it wasn't really used. It was, we had like a round and a half of combat. So, I struggled to even get too excited about the cool map that wasn't utilized. So I don't know. I wish I had like a more cohesive thing to say about it, but there was just like a lot of little things that brought it down for me. But anyways, I think that is where I will leave it. And we will be back next time with episode 108. We'll start out with that combat. We'll see. Maybe the combat is... Maybe these warriors are much more interesting than I foresee them to be. Maybe the crafting. Maybe they have to craft with the warriors. Maybe they have to like trick the warriors into doing the crafting. I don't know. But we'll see. Hopefully it's cool. Hopefully it's interesting. If it's not, hopefully it's fast. And that's about all I got. I will see you guys next time, episode 108. And I need some sort of ending thing, but I don't have one. So I'm just going to say goodbye. Maybe I'll see you. Oh, I keep looking over where the camera used to be. It's just like muscle memory. That's where the camera is now. Hello. We'll see you all later, next time. Maybe on Friday. Who knows? Hopefully I'll find out soon, but maybe not. Goodbye.